Good morning, YouTube family. I'm a bit confused because I'm seeing a chat, but I don't know if it's an old chat or a new chat, so bear with me. Something's a little strange on my new device. Are you guys already here? Oh, I think you're already in the chat. Good morning, everybody. Bear with me a second. Yeah, I'm seeing a chat, so I was confused. Why am I seeing a chat? So you guys are already here. My goodness, I guess I'm late. Good morning, Badass Stang. Bougie Prepper, my Renaissance grandma. Hold on, let me just get some of that stuff on the screen. Let's do our good mornings. Yeah, you guys are already here. Um, Good morning. I'll tell you what happened, guys. Good morning, Grand Rising. Okay, yeah, exactly. I have, hopefully you guys can see it. Maybe you can't see it because I have the virtual background on. But I have some berries, blueberries, raspberries, and blackberries in a bowl. I'm eating fruit first. Then I'll have my tea. Can you just give me 1 second, please? I have to pour some tea, please. Thank you. 1 second. I think I'm doing it live, but I'm confused because they were already there. I don't know if you know what program it is. I started the live and they were already in the chat, but I didn't open it yet. I don't know nothing. I think they were there. Maybe I put on YouTube, maybe. I don't know. Something like that. But there's a tea there. Um, just leave the tea bag in the cup when you're finished. I put those in the garden. Okay. If you need something, let me know. But I'm doing the yeah, let it steep. I guess let's say steep. You need a spoon or I don't need a spoon. You need a spoon? Oh, let it steep then. Okay, I'm right here if you need anything. I'm just gonna get back. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Um, okay, just greeting each other. He's saying, Bougie, I'm cooking a mean omelet. I have some leftover pot roast and potatoes, strain the gravy, and chopped meat and potatoes up fine. Ooh, you doing good. And I'm planting I'm going to plant some more. Let me change it. I think I'm a bit low. Okay, that's probably a bit better. I'm going to plant some more lettuce and stuff. Mustard greens. My mustards are doing better now because the bugs are dying back. But yeah, I'm going to drop some more seeds today. I know that's right. Just chop up some spicy ham and some cheese. Yep, there you go. So she's asking what Renaissance is doing in the kitchen today and what each other's doing. Let me see what Bucci's saying. Not a damn thing. I'm debating on going to the supermarket. I'm a vampire. I like to move at night. Yeah, when I used to do night shifts, I like going shopping at night. It was stores were empty, and they were restocking all the fresh stuff. So you're making a pot of herbal tea using banana blossoms. I gotta get some of your recipes, Renaissance. I heard Black Tropical talking about your soaps. I totally was unaware of what's going on and what people. Good morning, Gina versus Gina. Very nice. Okay. I'm just scrolling through, guys. I'm just gonna fast forward. Oh, good morning, Bougie. Good morning. I didn't realize I did a schedule for live on StreamYard. I didn't realize you guys are already waiting. I did not know that that was even possible. So was it on YouTube, guys? Did it show me as a scheduled live? Because I was hoping it was, but I'm not sure if it did. I'm gonna go on YouTube on my phone and see. I probably won't be able to see it now. Yeah, I'm probably not gonna be able to see it now. I see that I'm live, but I don't know if I was scheduled. Okay, I'm discombobulated. Sorry, guys, discombobulated. So good morning, G Mama. My throat's still waking up, as you guys can hear. My throat's a little still. I got a package. I got my package. Okay, and my hubby loves the salt free. He has heart. Okay, need some. Yep, I've been using salt free for a long time, and you just add the salt that you want if you choose to have salt. I do use Himalayan pink, or I'm trying to get some black salt, but I don't use the table salt. That's and Gina is going to be canning some pasta sauce today. Yeah, I Oh, you got a notification. Okay, you got a notification. Oh, maybe that I I put live, so I know you guys got notified that I'm live, but people were already in the chat before I even clicked live. So, oh, it showed schedule. Okay, it showed schedule. Okay, thank you guys. It's my first time doing a schedule. I wasn't sure if it worked, so now I need to make sure that I keep to the right time. Yes, 8:30. Excuse me, sorry guys. Let me tell you what happened though. I wasn't having a student in August, but I do have one now. There are some issues with some of the participants, and some of them are relocated. So I now have somebody after all last night. So I had to just scramble around. Good morning, Nikki. Scramble around and get the place. Um, thank God I had everything already washed, like all the from the last guest. I had the linen, the towels washed, and the sheets. Just had to wash the comforter. So I had to run and scramble around, vacuum, mop, you know, sanitize, and make the place fresh up for visitors. Yes, good morning. And this morning I'm a bit behind. Then today's another barbecue for the family, and yeah, a family barbecue for the other side of the family. So I had to bake a cake last night to carry. You had to bake a cake in the aluminum foil tray, and they had to carry it. So and it's hot. So sorry, guys. And yeah, you can probably see I look a little tired. So let me. I'm gonna drop the link. Let me just check the YouTube chat on my phone, and I have another device. So thank God I got another laptop, so I can have the virtual background. I can stream better. I have the cheap ring light. Let me tell you, you can get some cheap stuff at the dollar store. For those of you who don't know, I have a ring light from the dollar store. They have even a stand for your phone that you can do conferences on. You don't have to go and buy no like $4, $3. I'm sure it's not going to last forever, but I'm not buying things off of Amazon unless I can't get it at the dollar store. So, good morning to you all. So, we're going to just continue with the talk from last week. But before we go into the talk, we'll do a bit of gardening talk. Um, how's your garden doing? If you want to share on the live in the chat or come up, just remember, I probably have to say it every time. If you've never come up on my live before, then just put your camera on while you're in the basement so that I can see you and that you're dressed and everything. And then before you come up, good morning, Key Terrific Journey with Mike. You guys were up late last night on the live, and I fell asleep. I forgot her name. Shouldn't. I'm very bad with names, guys. I think it's part of. I don't know if it's part of age or something. Like sometimes I know a name and I can't remember the name. I have to like write it down to put it into my mind. But I was on a live last night, about keto, and I can't even find it on my history. That is crazy. Okay, but I was on a live. I saw you last night on the live. So I dropped the link. We're talking about quickly about gardening. So I'm going to drop some more seeds for the fall garden. Everything is doing pretty well. Squirrel ate one of my tomatoes, so I'm going to make sure it. That's it, Sheena. Thank you. I'm looking for it in my history. It's not even there. But yes, we were on the live last night. Great information. But I did fall asleep because it was like after 11 my time, 11 p.m. But you're just trying to support everybody. So uh, when my tomatoes turn orange, I'm taking them off, which most of you guys do anyways. But sometimes you're like, oh, you'll do it tomorrow. No, once you see it blushing, take it off. These squirrels are wicked. I have two Minnesota midget cantaloupes growing. They're growing on the back side of the pot so nobody can see them, not even the animals. So I just left them there. So they should be okay. I have one sugar baby. I don't know about you guys who plant in containers. I know when you plant in the ground, it's not good morning, can't stop walking, but love mowing. Good to see you. When you plant in containers, I'm not getting more than one fruit on my Minnesota, Minnesota I got two, but on my sugar baby I'm getting one fruit. Like it's not giving me any more female blossoms. I don't see them for even hand pollination. So I don't know what's going on, but I'm not getting more than one. So I have to plant like one watermelon per pot, and I'm getting one fruit off of each vine. I think I should be getting more than one fruit. So maybe my pots aren't deep enough, or I need to put some more fertilizer on. I'm not too sure, but it's not horrible, but I do want to get more production. You went to the Gulf Coast, Granny. Oh yeah, you guys are some of you guys are really night owls. I need to get my sleep. I have no use to myself if I don't get some sleep. Yeah, so I think I need to like I've been giving it food, but I can say I'm giving it food. I need to give it extra. So I did buy a bottle of seaweed fertilizer. I had the option of getting fish fertilizer and or seaweed. I know everybody swears by the 511 and I'm sure it's the truth, but when I already have raccoon problems, I don't think it's a good combination. So I did not buy I bought the seaweed, but then it's the whole garden smelled like shrimp. Um smelled like cooked shrimp. So I guess it's the same problem. I diluted it, but yeah, if the squirrel ate the tomato, then urban should. Oh, I'm getting to that. So I had a problem with the raccoon again. Some of you guys didn't know I was on other people's lives when it happened. So let me just share what happened because this is the most crazy thing I've seen in my entire life. So I work from home. So right now I'm at my work desk area and I can see the living room to my right, your left, I guess, because this is mirrored. And I have a veranda that I have some herbs on for my tea, and the door was open for fresh air because I don't, if it's not hot, I don't need the AC on. My house has a good breeze. I heard my neighbor yelling at somebody, and at the same time, I saw a car in front of my house. In front of my house, not in front, but nearby, is a fire hydrant. So there shouldn't be anybody really parking there. Good morning, Earth Varieties. And anybody I missed, I'll get to you in a second. The long and short is that the neighbor was yelling like, what the hell are you doing? Like really loud. I jumped up, did not have my phone in my hand. I usually always have my phone. So I didn't get the recording of the vehicle. I didn't know what was happening, but I could have at least started recording just out of reflex. He didn't get the license plate. The man and his wife, I'm assuming it's his wife because only a wife would be doing them kind of foolishness with a man. That's crazy. Took a cage out of his trunk, opened the cage, and released the raccoon. So I guess the raccoon was around his area and he thought, okay, let me put it over here. So my other neighbor has a tree that collapsed. He hasn't cleaned up the tree yet since May. So it looks what I call chukka chukka, like nobody lives there. The place is not maintained. So I guess as a result, me, his house, and my other neighbor look like we don't maintain our house because the one neighbor has all the debris still there. This big old fat raccoon. I went to the back window. I see the big old fat raccoon in my garden. I go get my cutlass that I just sharpened, freshly sharpened, ran to the back, banging, making noise. The raccoon was gone. Every night since, I've been seeing a pile of doo-doo on my deck. So I did a little Google search. Raccoons like to use the toilet above the ground on a deck, basically. I went to water my plants at the very back, my new garden beds with the cage on top. I see the raccoon in the tree looking at me, moving the bushes, and I'm watching him, watching me while I'm watching him, watching me, watching him, if that makes any sense. So we just both sat in there watching each other. So I said to the raccoon, I said, if you know what I'm saying, don't come in my garden again because I'm gonna take care of you. So I haven't seen him since. I haven't heard him since, and the motion light hasn't come on. But I put a wall up. I put black pepper down. I put old rags with ammonia in containers around the garden. I haven't seen or heard it, but I am going to get the camera. And that's, again, made me more uncomfortable with getting the chickens. So I'm going to get the chickens, but I have to make sure everything is caged up, protected up, fenced up, the whole. And I took out my electrical fencing that I bought from the store, only to find out that it does not have the main component that you need to electrically charge defense. So I have to go purchase the 220,000 volt something or other. Yeah, too many mouths to feed when you're. Thank you, Earth Varieties. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. And I caught your live with the baby food the other day, so that's some good information with the recipes. Let me just quickly scroll through. Yeah, they're just shrimp. It smelled like shrimp. I'm like, so I'm like, Lord, please, I don't need any more problems in this garden with animals. So I didn't, I didn't smell anything after. The smell went down, but the raccoon didn't come back. So hopefully he got the point. Don't come over here. Deers are a problem. Yeah, it's very difficult to grow food enough for yourself. So what I noticed for myself, I'm just all over the place. Sorry. I don't have enough to really do a lot of canning this year. I don't. I planted a lot of different foods, but not enough of each food. A deer got my pineapple potted plant. Oh Lord. Yeah. You have to have a lot of mesh in these streets and so forth. Um, yeah, the raccoon, like who does that? Who drops off a raccoon at your house? Like, it's not even the raccoon. If the raccoon came on its own accord, somebody dropped him or her off and said, "You haven't paid rent here. Go to her house." And when the raccoon came to my house, he was at the neighbor's house. He went to my backyard. How do they know that mine is a Shangri La? Is my house the Shangri La? This is crazy. This like I could not. Yeah, we locked eyes. We locked eyes, and then I'm like, shoot. I'm on the top of my garden. You guys know how that looks. And I don't have my cutlass. I don't have a machete. I didn't have anything. And I usually try to make sure I have something because I've heard people who had issues. Like, you never know. Yeah, the raccoon's watching me. I heard a little rustling in the bushes, in the kind of bushes, a tree. Good morning, classic. Oh, that's lashes. Okay, I know who that is though. Um, yeah, this raccoon's looking at me, and the man dropped it off, and then the neighbor goes, "I want to call the police," and the car drove off. But we didn't get the. I didn't even know what was happening, mind you. So next time I'm going to have my phone ready to take any recordings because people do some foolishness. Yeah, honestly, Nikki, I need the cocktail sauce. Yeah, they're very what's the word? Dexterity. They have a lot. They can use their fingers like hands. They have dexterity. Yep, you need some cocktail sauce. But I do. Oh, good news! Good news in these gardening streets. My corn has some kind of tassels or something happening on top. I think it's a tassel, and I think it's gonna germinate. Something's gonna happen, and I'm gonna get some corn. Probably late, but I'm gonna get some corn, guys. So I put some of that shrimp. I'm gonna call it shrimp sauce, shrimp fertilizer in the corn and my bees. I'm hearing private eyes. They're watching you in my. I'm telling you. I think it was Sheena who mentioned that she had a raccoon because I was talking about raccoons in their live in Belt Loop to ask if a pellet gun can take out a raccoon because I don't want to buy a pellet gun if I can't take out the raccoon with it. So they said yes, you can, but where to aim and because the deck is off of my bedroom. It's not like I'm being mean against nature. You're right against my bedroom. And if you're accustomed to coming there, that means if I'm out there, you're just going to come up there as an animal. And that's not safe for me or my guests. Or suppose there was a child there, I had a small dog. And then also and then the raccoon came back during daytime. The person dropped them off during the day. They're nocturnal. So the whole schedule of the raccoon is off. When I saw him in the tree giving me the eye, I'm eyeing him. It was 7 p.m., very bright outside. I don't think raccoons get up at that time. So something's off. So I'm not sure. My neighbor was saying maybe it's rabid. Like, I don't think it was rabid, but it could be unwell. So you have to be concerned. I don't want the animal on my deck. I don't have chickens, but I hear they have. Yeah, you have to keep a lot. That's why I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get the chickens up. I was moving forward, and then this happened because somebody asked me, "Oh, you don't let your chickens free range in your yard?" I said no. I just didn't have a good feeling. So, good morning, Drunken Chef. Good to see you. So now that I know this happened, or that people actually drop off raccoons at your house, um, I'm gonna build a proper cage or get a proper dog cage, fully secure on the lawn part, so I can take the chickens out and put them on the lawn part. They can eat grass. Like if my grass is a patch, I don't care. I can just put more grass seed down and keep moving them around, and let them have some fresh grass and like fresh air and stuff. Um, but yeah, tassels. I got some tassels on the corn. My beans are flowering again. So every time you harvest, you get more. So the garden is doing well. I just don't have enough, I feel, to can. But I have to remember I have my parents' garden. So I'm going to combine some of the harvest and see if I can at least can some zucchini. You know what? And my quick Google search, raccoons are very clean. That's what they said. Like they pick a spot to have as their washroom. So I guess it's my deck. And they're very clean. They don't want to, yeah, they wash their food before they eat it. So even though they're clean and they're nice, they're just very, I can't have them near my chickens. I don't want to come out and see heads and feet in different parts of the, I just can't handle, I can't handle that right now. Yes, I got tassels. I've got tassels. I got to do it. I think I should just take a picture and put it on Instagram because so yeah, I'm behind guys in the chat. So yes, thank you. Click the like. Oh, let me give you let me give Classic Solution mod because give me a second. Where's my live? Because I know it's Lashes. Because I guess she's on a different account today. Give me a moment and then we'll talk about the relationships. I'll turn my phone down so you're not hearing feedback. Um, I'll add you. I can always take it off after if you don't always use that account. Okay. So yeah, the things are doing well. I know we're all having our own issues, insects, stuff like that. Like it's a challenge, but let me see here. But they can be clean and nice in someone else's yard. Exactly, someone else's yard. I don't want them to become accustomed to coming here. It's not nice. Even if you don't have chickens, but you have a small dog, you have young children that you know you want in your yard in the gated area, unsupervised because it's not safe. But if there's wild animals just coming over and just there, you don't want that. Thanks for dropping the links, G Mama. So yeah, you don't want that. So that's my gardening, quick. But things are doing. Okra is doing well. I dropped some more beet seeds. I'm going to have my international student help me drop some lettuce seeds and just he has to be a part of your everyday life, and this is my everyday life. So he's going to be dropping some seeds with me. I have one more watermelon to drop. The cucumber is vining. It's doing well. Hopefully, the squirrels don't. I planted my peach tree in a 17-gallon bucket. My fig tree's looking good. So I'm gonna have to just next year focus on a few plants to plant more of. So I have enough tomatoes, I believe, in both gardens, mine and my parents. My zucchini, same thing. I'm not getting enough production like before. So I'm definitely going to be fertilizing more. I fertilize when I plant. I put the powder down in the hole. But after that, I'm sure it's just, it's gone. And I've put saucers under most of my pots so that it can retain moisture and the fertilizer doesn't always just run off into the ground. It's in the saucer that can suck it back up. Good morning, K-Lastic. No, we knew it was you. Yeah, we knew it was you, so I made you. I'm like, who the? I'm like, oh yeah, it's Lashes. So yeah, I put you as a mod, Lashes, under that account, so you can anything comes up or anything, We haven't had any trolls yet, guys. So it's not under subscriber mode. It's still open, but hopefully we don't have any troll issues. Also, last week I thanked you for 200 subscribers. Literally, I blinked and now it's over 300 and something. So thank you for 300, guys. That was fast. That was weird. 377. So hopefully before we know it, we can have the 500 celebration. I'll get my community page and then we can have a celebration, most likely seeds because I'm in Canada. So shipping anything else would be more difficult, but we'll do like seeds. And for the 1,000, it'll be bigger. Yeah, I know it's. I'm just waking up too. So I have some tea. I have sorrel ginger with a peppermint bag, with a bit of monk fruit sweetener. Not much, but enough. And yeah, so I'm at 300. Like that's crazy, guys. Literally. And I think when you stop looking, it happens. Sometimes you're like looking every day. Oh my God, I lost 10. Oh my God. Oh, I just stopped looking and stopped being concerned about it, and just have a good core group. That's better. So I'm just chatting and then for those of you who missed so somebody dropped off a raccoon to my house. That was crazy. That is the craziest thing. I cannot pay for some of these stories. Like literally, you think I'm making this stuff up. And what else happened? Oh, my confessional at the Wind Down Wednesday. It is very true. That wasn't. I don't make up stories. So you are thinking she's lying. So for those who don't know, I went to my fennel plant and I'm like, where's all the lovely, the growth, like the tassels? I call them the tassels. And when I looked, there were 6 big old caterpillars, which I was told from my the short and from my Instagram is some kind of swallow butterfly. And they're right, because before I saw those caterpillars, I did see a lot of these 2 beautiful black speckled butterflies flying around the garden. I didn't have my my phone to capture it for a short. I'm like, man, beautiful. Just like, but again, sometimes you're not connecting the dots. Like, hi, the good morning, Black Guns and Gardens. It's not just the white moth that's the problem. Those beautiful butterflies. Anyways, for those who missed it, it's on my. I did a video, the most recent video I've done in a while. That's not alive. And 6 juicy caterpillars. I dumped them in a little pot, and then I threw them in the garbage. And literally, after I saw the comments, oh my God, it's going to be a beautiful butterfly. I felt bad. I'm like, the spirit convicted me, because I'm like, there's nothing wrong with killing a bug, but if it's almost halfway, if it's past the halfway mark of its life cycle to become an adult, just let it finish. That's the way I am. Like, if a bird hasn't laid any eggs in the nest and you knock the nest down, that's okay. But if they laid any eggs, you really shouldn't be knocking the nest down. There's rules to this thing. Thank you, Black Guns and Gardens. There's rules to nature. You can't just typing away with bad. Nobody could smell it, Nikki. Don't worry. You in your own house. Sorry, I'm see the chat. I see the comments, but I'm gonna just skip sometimes and not put them all up because it's just a lot. So yeah, I felt bad. I'm like, because they're big, so I'm like, they're probably gonna go into their cocoon. I guess they call it cocoon, or their whatever they call it. And I went and took them out. I put my robe on. Like, I'm ready. I'm in my bed, and it's like 11 o'clock. I went, but the container that I threw it in the garbage in turned. So some of them went. I found 2. I couldn't find the 4. So I was hoping they would crawl up and I could get them out. So I didn't get more than 4. So, but I took the 2 and I put them in the neighbor's yard, the same neighbor that has the chukka with all the tree debris that didn't clean it up yet. And I blamed him for the raccoon coming. So it's kind of like, karma, but maybe not. So hopefully God doesn't judge me for that. But I did save the caterpillars so they can become butterflies. But I did not put them back in my garden because, hello, my mom didn't raise no fool. So he ain't growing food, I am. So go over there and eat, a bush or a weed and survive. You don't have to come and eat my stuff. So yeah, I did put it in the neighbor's garden in the night. Good morning, D-Style. And that's what I did. But next time I'm going to know. But yeah, there's some rules to this, guys. Like, I killed the caterpillar worms, but they're small. They weren't, and I did kill a white moth because it was just hovering around my collard greens and I got mad and I swapped him. There's just too much trouble. But certain things, if they've already like almost become an adult and they are beneficial, even though they're eating my fennel, let it finish its life cycle. You have to catch things when they're younger. If you didn't catch it, don't do that. That's my opinion. Do whatever you want in your garden. You can, spray whatever you want, smash whatever you want. It's your decision. But for instance, even the same raccoon I'm complaining about, if it's nesting, well, as long as it's not nesting in my roof. But if it has children, leave them alone. Even though I'm complaining and saying a lot of smack, there are some things that I don't do, and I don't disturb Mother Nature like that. Okay, so now back to last week's topic. We're talking about dating and marriage in 2022. For those who missed last week, I'll drop the link again. Give me a second to copy. And we're just talking about dating. So last week we talked about a lot of stuff. And I posed a question this week but I'm not going to do that question. I think we just need to continue with what we were talking about because it was just there was a lot of stuff we were discussing and dissecting. Again, it's an open panel. If you've never been on my live stream, oh, I see. Sorry, I see you now. Make sure you cam up. If I already know you and you've been up, that's fine. But if I've never seen you before, put your camera on so that I know you're. Hey, Bougie. Make sure I can hear you. Make sure my volume is up. Hold on. Where's my volume button? Give me a
You
second.
can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm
Okay.
on a new device, so. And thank you for all who's been sponsoring the channel. That's greatly appreciated. But yeah, last week I watched it again. Like I was like, man, this was a good discussion, and I was
Yes,
so
it was.
pleased. I was so pleased because it was so classy. Nobody
Mm-hmm.
was
Mm-hmm.
foul, and
Mm-hmm.
it was really good. So thank you. Good morning, Mrs. Queen. It was a really classy conversation. I do want to say this though because
Grand Rising, Queenie.
it was. Oh, good morning, Planter. I want to say this though because
Grand
what I
Rising, Santa.
yeah, man, Planter. Yeah, after finish watching your live, Planter, I came late, so I'm going to go back on to the beginning. And some of y'all were live at the same time, and I'm like in three chats. I'm like, this is really not right, but I'm going to go back and watch them, guys. I'm going to go back and watch them. So what troubled me, not in a bad way, is I know this whole manosphere thing. I know men and women are different. I think uh Broke Farmer was saying men don't want a woman's things. Like they don't want, they don't
It's
care what
all
you've
you
achieved.
can't. It's all dependent on the person. You really can't say
Because there
because
are some gold diggers
you
in these
got some.
mad
Yeah,
streets. Some men are
you
going
got
to
to
go for it.
remember there's everything on both sides. So we don't
Correct.
need to point fingers for this side, that
Right.
side.
It's on both sides, but
Each
the
side is
general
doing.
consensus
Yeah.
is that men don't like when you meet somebody, you're like, okay, I have a degree, or like they say, women will say, I have a degree, I have a job, whatever they're saying. They'll say, we don't care about all that. But
Right.
what I think is being misunderstood is this, because I was thinking about it and I'm pondering it, and I think men are missing the point. So I can only speak on me. So if I'm talking to somebody for the first time, and they're asking, about you, and you happen to maybe bring up, okay, your education, where you've worked, your experience. I'm not bringing it up to brag or use that as credence for you to date me. In my mind, it's like when you're doing a behavioral interview. These are examples to reflect character traits that I'm trying to
Right.
demonstrate.
Right.
But
Exactly.
men aren't hearing that. They're just hearing degree, master's, let's say I say
Mm-hmm.
PhD,
Mm-hmm.
executive, $300,000 a year. I'm driving a
Mm-hmm.
Bentley. Like they're hearing the things and they're hearing
Not
the
not
accolades, but they're
not
not
the
hearing the
that this
message.
goes with your personality or your
Right.
character or your yeah.
So so men, the men who want to chat. So I'm saying, like, first, if I say I have a degree, I'm not bragging. I'm just saying because to me that shows discipline. I had to sacrifice friends and focus on my schoolwork to finish and graduate. If I say to somebody I paid off my student loan, I'm demonstrating discipline,
Mm-hmm.
consistency, financial literacy. Like I'm trying to demonstrate character traits, but
Right.
men aren't hearing that. I realize that on on Saturday because it was such a civilized conversation. We could actually hear each other. And then you hear all this manosphere stuff, like that man who passed away. Like they talk about like what men want, and but I think men are not hearing what women are saying. I'm not bragging about my accolades. I'm trying to demonstrate character traits and
Right.
behavioral patterns that are consistent with what you would want in, I would think, in a partner.
Right.
Stability, consistent, but they're just hearing things,
Right.
materialism, when that's not the message. But some women are materialistic, don't get me wrong. Um, but I have degrees on my thermometer. This is too much. So I think so it's back. I think Hansen there said that book, Women Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, whatever that book is called.
Yeah.
That's exactly
Mm-hmm.
it. We're communicating, but our wires are crossed.
Yeah.
We're not even, you know, talking about his radishes. Yep, my radishes didn't bulb, so I have sticks. So I gotta redo my radishes and my turnips. But let me go down to the chat. Nikki's like, if you ask me a question, I'll give you an answer. That's not bragging. Yeah. So for my comment was last week, I don't think it's feasible for a man to expect a woman, if you're dating a woman of a particular age, that is not like fresh and green, but a mature woman, it's not feasible to expect me not to have accrued anything
Certain
over
things.
years.
Right. Yeah.
And for
Yeah.
that to be a problem for you, it makes you feel uncomfortable. That's not really fair because,
Um, well,
you know,
nothing is fair. You just got to realize who is about what and who is not. Hello, planter. Because
mhm,
everybody you talk to is not the person for you. So sometimes you might just be having a conversation. The conversation is really to get to know the person, what you have in common, and what if there's red flags, if there's deal breakers that this person might have about themselves. So talking to somebody, that's how you get to know if this person is somebody you might want to continue to have a conversation with. It doesn't always mean that it's the person for you.
let me go down and see what people are saying. Hold on.
Nikki said, I think some men think if a woman is educated and employed, we don't need or want them.
That's
I think
exactly the point.
society has made men think that. I think that's where that comes from.
And I'm thinking to myself, what, exactly, where does that come from? And if I'm educated and have a good job and I'm of a particular age, why would, that's what I said last week. Why would you expect me to kind of sit down and be stagnant, waiting for this someone to drop from the sky and not bettering myself in all the time that I'm single? Why would I be sit down and do nothing? Wouldn't it be plausible that I would go get educated and do something with my, or do like whatever I want to do, open a business? Like, wouldn't that be plausible? Wouldn't that show that, oh, this woman is doing something? She's not sitting down waiting for a man. And what, of course I need something. You can still offer me other things. You didn't ask me what I want or what I need. You didn't you like, they made an assumption that I don't need a man, and they gone to somebody else that makes them feel more comfortable because she's not as established. I'm like, where does this thing come from? Like,
It's a society thing. It's a society thing, and that thing where we put everybody in the same box. Like we got this meaning for everybody. Like we say, women do this and men do that. But no, you really can't say that because you haven't met everybody. You haven't met every man and you have not met every woman. So when you meet somebody, allow that person to tell you who they are.
exactly. And I
Don't
think
don't let preconceived ideas and meanings and stuff like that get in the way of you sitting and learning about who this person is that's sitting in front of you, not what society or if they say something, not allowing preconceived meanings of stuff that society has taught you to think about a person get in the way either.
that, and that's my problem, because if men are doing that, they're not giving us a fair shake. Women who are more mature and have stuff, that's not giving us a fair shake, because you're assuming, oh, she don't need a man. If I only need a man to buy me things, that's a bit shallow as well too. You say you don't want a gold digger, but then you're penalizing me for not being gold digger-ish, kind of,
No,
sort of.
they're not penalizing you. You just got to look past those things and not
But they're not
let
looking past
them.
it. That's what I'm saying. We're
Well,
I'm a woman.
those people, if those are not the people for you, then you got to look past those people. Don't worry about them.
So where am I looking? Where are they? But
You
exactly, some
got
of these
you
men need to
have
know
to
that.
have in mind for yourself what you're looking for. If you keep looking for what you're not looking for, then you're gonna keep getting that. What do
Men
you
want
know
y'all to
what you're
take the
looking
trash out. We're not trying to fight
for?
raccoon. So exactly, but so I'm like, some of the things that they're doing too is not too right. Maybe some men get that from some women who do feel this way. Exactly, some women do feel that way, but not all. Those women who think that way will remain single. Just because a woman has achieved something doesn't mean she's a quote unquote modern woman mentality. She could still be very, you know, as far as I'm concerned, beauty is only skin deep. Sooner or later, you're going to have to talk, and I want to converse with you. Exactly. People, if you want to grow old with somebody, you're going to have someone you can converse with, because things are going to be sagging and dripping. And hey, Shaquilla's world, things are not going to be the same. It's not going to be as superficial. Yes, you want to be attracted to the person, but you need to have conversations,
Yeah,
stimulation
that's
of your
a
mind.
conversation is very important. And you
And
have
I
to
was,
remember, relationship is not taught, so everybody's not going to know how to. Um, well, everybody's going to be on a different understanding of what relationships is all about. We're
you're
not taught.
right.
We're
We're
not
not
taught
trained.
how to. Yeah, we're not. It's not taught. Most of us don't get the training at home. A lot of
Mhm.
us don't have examples around us. A lot of us don't, even when we get in relationships, we don't even bother to think, well, let me learn something. If there's an issue going on, well, let me pick up a book or something and read a book to figure out, how I can make, what's going on better.
I was also thinking about like the older women that like mothers, grandmothers of, way back, and what they went through. And I think because there are some comments made, not made now, but back in the day, like, she's bitter, she's talked like because of what happened, or, and my friends and I were analyzing the people in our lives, like older, like the way back generation, and why they were so, like the women were so the way they were. And I
Mm-hmm.
and I realized after living some life of yourself, sometimes they weren't allowed to go through and work through their feelings. That wasn't an
Right.
option for them in that
Mm-hmm.
generation. It was like
Right.
suck it up,
Right.
buttercup, move on. They
Yeah.
never had a
Yeah.
chance to talk to someone, or and you couldn't because they would chat your business all around the street and all around the neighborhood, and they'll come back. Like they had it hard. Like they had to relocate. They were moving to other countries to get a better life for themselves or their families. It was different, and they didn't have anyone to really have their back. They left their parents. They didn't, you didn't have WhatsApp and phone calls. It was all like mailing
Right.
letters.
Right.
It was very difficult
Right.
to get that emotional support. And they're out in
Yeah.
these streets, and when
And
something
you
happened, like
you still
they
have that
couldn't,
now. You still
yeah, like
have that now. People don't know how to express themselves emotionally.
for sure. But then they definitely had no way in hell, because one person said to me their mother was very brawling, very aggressive. She always was arguing, like a very brawling, difficult woman to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
And they, as a grown adult, like 50 plus, he
Mm-hmm.
realized why. And it changed the whole viewpoint of his childhood. Because even though it was difficult, like they had to move a lot because she made it very difficult to stay in one spot just because of her behavior and
Mm-hmm.
her brawlingness. That's all I can say. She's
Mm-hmm.
brawling.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and
Good
what
morning,
happened?
Jen.
Good morning. Who did I miss? Okay. And good morning, good times, Homestead. And what happened was this. I'm not going to go into too much because it's someone else's story. He realized the deal was she worked her butt off to help that man emigrate to a first world nation with the
Mm-hmm.
understanding that he would send for them. So, because I'm Caribbean, you know how it is. Someone goes to America or England or Canada, and you get a job, you send money back to support your family in Jamaica, and you eventually sponsor them to come and live in that country so they can go to school and better their life. The
Mm-hmm.
man, like I'm talking, struggled to get him there. For him to
Right.
go and two twos meet somebody and marry somebody else, and
Wow.
never supported her or the kids that
Right.
she had for him,
Right.
and she leaned towards drinking. So
Mm.
when you grow up and you understand somebody's story, you have so much empathy and compassion, because she didn't have the skills to deal with those emotions, and that anger just like took her over, and it affected her ability to mother her kids the way that she was mothering them, because she was so angry, because she worked her butt off to make sure, because back in
Right.
those days to buy an airline ticket wasn't cheap, and these are
Right.
people who don't have no big income, so you have to work together. And I'm thinking the man went and like, yeah, and she never got over it. And when he went back to spend time with her, when she was passing on and could spend time with her, he
Mm-hmm.
finally got to see and know her the way that she really truly is, without the anger and the
Right,
resentment
right,
and all
right,
that stuff.
right.
So we say stuff about people and about genders maybe, but they just didn't have the skills, as you said, to communicate and to
Yeah.
resolve some of those old feelings. And if we only had permission to do that, sometimes we don't have permission. It's like suck it
And
up,
some
be
some
women.
some people don't know how to do it, or
True,
they don't. Some people feel if they say how they feel, they'll get rejected.
exactly. So we're walking around damaged, and we don't have to be. It's sad, but it's not unheard of, because it's like, we just don't feel, I guess there's no safe place for some people. They don't feel safe. They
Right.
don't feel like they can,
Exactly. Exactly.
women back then had so much on their plates. Everybody, exactly. And you wonder why a lot of people, for me, I've seen a lot of women from that generation who had mental and nervous breakdowns. And you don't understand what, there's reasons. And when you figure out what they went through, it's like, man, I couldn't carry that. Some men want women to be soft, and it said men like to feel needed. Women
Yep.
still can have
Yep.
education, money, and things, but men, yeah, you're
Yep.
right, Mrs. Queen.
Yep.
And some women don't know how to
Mhm.
be feminine. They
Mhm.
don't know how to balance that. And I know I've heard somebody say in a marriage, she makes more money, but you have to be very careful not to say like, as if I make more money than you, I make the decision. Like, you have to be very careful how you move in your
Like that. Yeah.
marriage,
Yeah.
and because you can't make the man feel like because you make more money, you get to decide. Like, no. So
Yeah.
there's some
It
things that women
that
do that
that
are not
shouldn't
good.
matter.
Yeah,
That shouldn't go like that anyway. That shouldn't be like that.
and a stiff drink and a cute. Yep, exactly. So now that I'm older, it's like, wow, you understand even your own parents, you understand your grandparents.
Mhm.
They just didn't have what they didn't have, and you can't wrong them for it. They did the best that they could. Good morning,
Right.
creative Nikita. Did the best that they could. The
Grand Rising
emotional,
Rambo.
is Rambo in here?
Grand
I
Rising
mentioned.
Rambo.
Okay, hey Rambo. I don't see you, but good to see you.
Grand
And
Rising Peter.
I don't.
Lioness.
Am I missing all these people? Oh, okay, I see Rambo. Okay, I'm way behind. Hey Rambo. Crafty Leo. I'm scrolling. I think I'm way. Okay, I must have been way up. My wife and I don't have. Let me see here. My wife and I don't have her money, and my money, we have our money. Right.
Mhm.
But some
Mhm.
people are moving in their relationships and their marriages with some outside mentalities and ideology. Good morning, hands in the dirt.
Grand Rising
That's
Stacy.
not right. And some people, you have to discuss in your own relationship how you want things to go.
But that's not being done. That's what the problem is.
No, people are
People are not
copying.
sitting down and
No.
having well, that's what we talked about last week too, about being able, knowing how to resolve conflict,
Hmm.
and being able to come to an agreement, even if it is a disagreement. What do you call it? A peaceful disagreement.
But some people don't even know that they're disagreeing. They're just going with what their parents and grandparents did, and that's the way marriage, or that's the way it's supposed
That's
to
the way it's
be.
supposed to be.
And
Yeah.
for instance, let's talk about the money that Keterific brought up. It's our money, not his and her money.
Right.
Some people are of the mentality that once you get married, all
Everything
the
is
money goes in one
joined.
pot.
Right.
Some people, and especially depending on your age, they're not down for the one pot. You each have
Right.
your own account, but you do have
Right.
one account that all the bills come out of.
And
But
everybody, and each person is responsible for certain things. But I mean,
or
none of that is right, and none of it is
no, it's
wrong.
wrong. But you have to
It's according
discuss
to
with
how
your
you, right,
right.
you want to run your house. So none of it is right, none of it is wrong. Grand
So
Rising TNT.
yep, good morning, triple threat. So you have to have that conversation, because you can't assume that the other party wants to do it that way. You have to have
Right,
a conversation.
right,
There many times she
right.
made more money than me, and I was like, "Go get it, babe." Yeah, exactly. He supported her to make more money, but you don't throw it in your partner's face, and
Face.
that seems.
No,
I
no.
find that's the biggest problem that I'm hearing is the money and the financial conversations in relationships.
That's
One of
like
the
how,
main
yeah, that's one of the main
sore
things.
spots.
Yeah.
And for me, I wasn't down for combining into one big pot. That's not
Mm,
right. That's not wrong. That's my preference. Because you have to
right, right.
remember, If you're dating somebody of a particular age, I've already been running my own affairs. You can't
Right.
now say everything has my so you want my payroll to go into a joint account. And if there's a problem, which has happened to other women, you have to call your employer to get the, and it takes days to get your payroll switched to another account. So until such time, I may not have any money because you're now being a jerk and lock, like, stuff could happen. That's all I'm saying. So I'm not saying it will or it won't, but you have to be conscious. Like, I have my own money. Can't we just have a third
Right.
account that goes together? And also, if I put you as the beneficiary on my account, like, there's other
But
things you
and
can do to make the
my
person,
question is, what is there a need for a joint account? What is there that needs to be paid that why there's a joint account that's
I guess,
needed? Why
household
it can't
bills
be?
and stuff
Yeah,
like
but why did you could
groceries,
pay a
mortgage.
household bill out of any account?
But people have a mindset, and I think mostly men.
But you got to be
I,
realistic
some
about
men.
the stuff. You might have a mindset or something, but you got to be realistic. I could pay somebody else bill out of my account.
Hello,
What do you
exactly.
need a joint account for? I'm saying it's not that is I'm not saying it's right or it's wrong,
No,
but
but what?
my
So,
whole thing is if like how you, in your situation was what I'm talking about.
mhm,
If you say I don't want a joint account, I'd rather do just whatever I need to do, I'll do out of my account, whatever need to be done and whatever needs to be. I don't see what is there a need for a joint account because anybody could pay a bill any account. It don't needs to be joint.
correct, Bougie. And that's when you start to go under the layers and figure out that it's a control mechanism. So
Yeah,
it's
that
not
part.
it's not a civilized, reasonable decision. It's actually
Right,
a control mechanism to control
right,
what I'm getting. And it wasn't like I didn't disclose what I was getting when I worked overtime. It wasn't like you weren't knowing what's happening. It wasn't like you
right,
don't know where the money's going. It wasn't like I was
right.
using it to get all these
But what
hairdos and
happened to trust?
exactly. So
What
so
happened to that?
I
Trust
don't know.
and knowing that whatever needs to get done, every both parties will make sure that it gets done.
Yeah. Now there's nothing wrong with a joint account. I had, but
No, I'm not
when
saying there's
somebody
nothing wrong
asks
with it
you to put
either.
all your money in their, like, all your money is all going into the one pool, not my own account, his own account, and then we have a third. It's like, and then you have to also take into account, you don't, now I'm not talking about when you're dating someone when you're 20 and you're coming up from the bottom, now we're here mentality. I'm talking about when you're already up, he's up, you're up, and now
Right,
you're
right. You're
combining your
already
lives
established.
together.
You're already established.
I'm
You
established, he's
right.
established.
You don't see a need for joint account. Yeah,
You can't expect me to do, and it doesn't have to be 50-50. If I'm making more money, you're making more money, I'm not even going into all that. The point is we are sharing the burden of running the house together.
right.
But now you're trying to
Exactly.
control, like, people want to bring in dating ideology that was for when you were 20 into the
Right.
40, 30s,
Right.
40s, and
Right. Right.
50s.
Right.
I have a
Hmm.
coworker friend who said she's divorced and she had a very foul divorce because this person was a professional fraudster. He would write check, like, he would forge things. He was a professional fraudster, and the only reason she left with the house was because I think her dad's name was something was done that protected her. The long and short is that anything that she has now is for her children. So she is in another relationship. She has no intention of getting married or live cohabitating in her house with this man, because
Right.
anything that she has is for her children. Because if she starts to cohabitate with this man, he now has access to, you know, her home, her assets, whatever, however it works. There's fine lines to this stuff. It's a business actually. It can be very a lot of legalities. So no mail goes to her house, no nothing. Her two children are what everything she's worked to get is for. Because they're not having kids. She's past childbearing age. They're not having kids together, and that's how she's moving. Nothing's wrong with that. If they want to move in together, they'll move into another place, not that place that is going to be left for her children. Because for
Right.
her to start from scratch at this age, that's not reasonable for a man to ask her that. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
that's not reasonable. She's lived enough life to know that her life partner did her dirty. She's not angry or resentful, but he was a very dishonest person.
Right.
And if you're not careful, your spouse could leave you with a lot of debt because of the way how they're moving
Right.
and because
Right.
you're their part. So I'm just saying people want to bring in ideology from when they were 20, like, oh, we coming from the bottom, we have it together, everything's joint, everything's together.
Right.
That was when we were 20, we both had nothing.
Right.
Not when we're both grown and have something. That's all I'm saying. It. Why are we getting so much resistance from maybe men in that regard? And then Micro was talking about resistance in terms of like intimacy. Like men have a lot of options in these streets, and
Right.
girls who are
Yeah.
not gonna.
They do.
And that's true. And I no argument. That's 100% true. But then if I move that way, I still could get burnt. Like there's no benefit to me to move that way. Is what I'm trying to
Then
say.
don't do it. You only do what
Exactly.
you want to do.
And
Don't
and
do
other women too.
what you see what's going on.
And I can't move that way. I can't. I
Yeah,
can try to be, oh, I can't. I just
everything
can't.
is not for everybody.
Exactly. But
So you do what makes you happy.
for
You gotta
women,
read the chat. They're saying a lot in the chat.
okay, I'm gonna go to the chat because yeah, they're like, yeah, we're liking this conversation. So hold on. Nikki's saying, I think some people just like to see that both people are contributing. At the end of the day, as long as the bills get paid, that's what really matters. Exactly, because you're a reasonable woman. But some people like to control others. Okay, I get it. Already established individuals would almost always have hesitations when it comes to, yes, that's all I'm saying. So some of you have married your high school or college sweethearts. So you don't even know, you haven't been in these single streets in a long time. So you're just, living your life with your partner. Any single item purchased. Yeah, that's fair. If you have a high value purchase item, you guys discuss it before you go and just go run and go buy
Go
it.
back up one. Go up one to hands in the dirt.
Hold on one second. I'm going to add Gina's in the chat. Good morning, Gina.
Hey,
Hey.
I was driving, as you can see, but
No, yeah,
I was
know,
like,
Saturday morning hustle.
I was talking to the screen, like, oh, I got so much to say, especially with that last comment from Micro Farmer about how the mentality of, and not saying that he feels that way, but just that comment, the mentality that I could go out here and find a woman I can be out here doing whatever. Mm-hmm. That is the reason sometimes women are so reserved and combining things and things of that nature, because you are not making us feel safe. I am married, so I do feel safe, but I am just saying, when I was out there dating, that was the biggest thing. It's like, if I don't feel safe to open myself to certain things, it's because you're not making me feel that way. You're giving me flags still. So in order for you to find that woman that's going to be able to be open in all the ways of the relationship, you first have to make her feel safe to do so. And vice versa.
Right.
And vice versa. If you want a man that's going to be open and talk to you, one thing I found, and I find this to be universal, because I have friends in every ethnicity. Men are kind of similar universally, probably the same with women, but men are. And I always tell my daughter, like, when she's going through, every woman is going to go through that time where they're just aggravated with the guy that they're with. And I'm like, they don't pick up on the same stuff that we do. Like, you have to be utterly direct with men. Yeah. Women are different most times. Yeah. Majority of women, not maybe all, but the majority of women, we pick up on cues. So we know that if something we did may have not been something that you were happy with us doing, and things like that. When men, you literally have to say it for them to get it. And it's like, how did you, I had a whole attitude for 2 days. You don't care that I had an attitude for 2 days? But if I didn't say what my attitude was for, he's wrecking his brain. And most times the thing they think that you're mad about
is not what it is. No, nobody can read your mind. We expect men to be mind readers when we upset. You know why I'm mad.
But women are mind readers. We are mind readers. We can figure it out.
Men are not built like that.
They are not built the same.
You have to tell them what's wrong. No, they don't know what's wrong.
That is so true. You have to be direct with them. And that was one of the things I had to learn with my husband, is that I couldn't expect him to know what was upsetting me. I had to be direct in letting him know what was upsetting me. In the beginning, that was annoying, because I felt like, how can you not pick up on this if I could pick up on this? But I had to get out of that and not
Right.
thinking that he needs to do what I do because he's not me.
Exactly.
Correct.
So,
Exactly.
Correct.
but I
And
Mhm.
think
also
one of
that
the,
forced you to also verbalize your issues, because I'm sure
it
Yes.
did.
you have to
Yes.
learn to
Mhm.
verbalize things, not just him to read your clairvoyant mind that Gina is upset because I didn't put the toilet seat down on Friday
Exactly.
of last year.
Exactly. Exactly. So true. That is so true. And I think that that's really the biggest thing. And those conversations can be hard because
Mhm.
they make you nervous that you're going to upset the person, but you have to have them. Because if it is going to upset the person, maybe that ain't the person for you. But you have to have those hard conversations, even in the beginning,
Yeah.
especially in the beginning. Don't wait
Mhm.
until you get
Especially
into
in the
it.
beginning. Yes.
Don't wait until you in that thing to have those conversations. Have them in the beginning. That
Yeah.
way they know where you're coming from and what's okay with you. And sometimes through conversation, you realize there's a compromise that can be made on both sides for any
Right.
issue.
Right.
But yeah, I think the most important thing is both individuals feeling safe with the other
Right.
person that they're
Yeah.
with. Because the
Yeah.
Correct.
safer you feel, the more trust comes with everything.
Right.
So that's
I think that's that's very true. Like,
mm-hmm.
um, I think there's a bit of emphasis. I will say, even as a mature person dating, there's a lot of emphasis because there's a lot of like hookups, as Bougie said. It's true. A lot of people are just hooking up, hooking up, hooking up, and you're
Mhm.
not talking. You're laying in the bed, but you're not
Yes,
having any conversation. You don't
Hookups
know the
yes,
is not
person's
for
last name.
conversations.
You
You
don't even
don't.
know. You don't know nothing about this person. They don't know their
yes,
last name,
No,
their real
that's
name,
not what
their instant
hookups are about. Hookups, the only conversation is what time, when,
and where.
and that's
where?
it.
Yeah.
And
But
yeah,
it's like, but if
that's
you have
it.
a
That's the only
problem, if something
conversation for
happens, how
hookups.
do you find this person? Because like I don't know.
I
It's
mean,
just
it's
yeah,
well, I know you talked about frogs, but you're gonna have to go through a lot. Not you don't have to kiss them, but you're
Yeah,
exactly.
gonna have to go through a lot of frogs.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
as soon as you hear the conversation, you move on. You don't sit
true,
yeah,
there
true.
and keep. And as soon as you seen the sign that this is just a hookup person or this ain't a person that's for me, you keep moving. Don't sit there and keep talking to them. Keep moving.
yeah,
Go
You
on
have
to
to.
the
You
next
have to be
one.
willing to move. You have to be willing to move on because some women.
Yes, you have
I've
to.
heard one woman tell me, and I was appalled almost. But I guess that's her story. Like she does not want to be by herself. She says I cannot do it. So she'll tolerate a lot of foolishness just so that she can say I have somebody.
yeah,
I am
Yeah,
yeah,
not wired that way. I'm
yeah.
like hell to the no.
You have people like that.
yeah.
You do.
And she
Yeah,
My
said
you
ex
do.
straight
is
up,
like that, and I tell him all the time that he needs to learn how to be by himself so that
So,
he can learn to love someone when he's with them, because he
mm-hmm,
just always has to be with somebody. We actually have a not a good relationship but a decent relationship because we have a child together before I got married. And so I still like I'm always trying to still encourage him, like he's not a bad person, we just weren't meant
right,
for each other. But
right.
I picked up on the fact that he just always goes, he's always got somebody, always
Right.
in a relationship, and I'm like,
Mhm.
but he's never happy. He is
you
never
see,
happy. And I'm like, that's because you haven't,
Learn
you,
to
the
be
problem
by
is you. You
yourself.
have to work into
Exactly.
what you're dealing with and what makes you feel like you always have to be with someone. What,
Mhm.
why can't, what's, there's that quietness of being alone makes you think. And I think
Mhm.
that's what he doesn't want. He
You
doesn't want
gotta
that
hear your own thoughts.
quietness.
Yep. Some
Mm-hmm.
people are scared of their own thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
they're afraid of that
Yeah.
side. That's yeah, they're afraid of that exactly. And instead of
Yeah.
them dealing with their issues, they're medicating with another body, and that's not
Yeah.
good either because you have multiple bodies that you've been through, and now they're all damaged because you're just like
Yeah.
using them for your own emotional fix.
Yeah.
And that's what we're
And
doing. We're all out here doing, well, not all of us, but trying to meet people, and that's they're
mm-hmm.
carrying all that behind them,
Yes.
and it's
And there
like,
was, go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, you go
I
ahead.
was going to say there was another comment that you made a long time ago in regards to the communicating. Um, and I think that, and I still see it with some because it's a generational thing. But I
Mm-hmm.
know coming up as kids, we weren't allowed to express our feelings. You
Nope.
weren't allowed
Mm-mm.
to have a
Nope.
feeling.
Nope.
You do what I
Not a
say,
no
not as
opinion.
I
You're seen
do.
and not
No,
heard.
you
You're
don't
seen
Mhm.
and
get an
not heard.
opinion.
Yeah.
Exactly. And now with our generation, well, my generation of children, because my kids are kind of spaced apart. I have two children and they're 12 years apart. But with both of them, I talk to them, so they are allowed to express opinion. I
Mhm.
never
Mhm.
shut down them expressing how they felt. Now, maybe we're going to have an in-depth conversation about that, because even though you're allowed to have those feelings, I might have to tell you
Right.
why this was still not okay.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
Um, but we have those. I have those hard conversations even with my kids, and I know with elders sometimes seeing that it's like, "Oh, you just allow your child to die." Yes, because guess what? You raise children who now don't know how to communicate to anyone.
Right.
They don't know how
Right.
Right.
to
Right.
Yep.
advocate for themselves at work. They don't know how to advocate for themselves in relationships, friendships, or intimate relationships. So, do we continue to raise those children, or do we raise children who know how to express what they are feeling, no
Right.
matter what it is? It's not to hurt someone's feelings, it's just to express this is what I'm feeling.
Right. Look what Badass put. He said, I enjoy my time to myself, and so does my
I
wife.
do
It's
too.
part of a
Me and
healthy
my husband do too.
relationship.
We have
Exactly.
spaces,
Where am
and
I?
You're
I'm
Are you
like,
the
still
bottom?
you're in a relationship, but you're still individual people.
you are. You have to have. That's one thing I teach my daughter. I'm like,
Oh, take
she
care,
would
G Mama.
always
I
want
think I
her
missed G Mama
boyfriend.
leaving. Sorry, I
Bye,
missed G
G
Mama leaving.
Mama.
Yeah. And
She will
Rock
always want her
disturbing.
boyfriend up under her, and I'm like, you need to have your own life. Let him. If
Mm-hmm.
he all he wants to do
Mm-hmm.
is his pastime is going to play basketball. Let him go
Let
play
him
basketball.
go.
He
Let
needs
him
to have
go.
that,
Yes.
because that's going to
Yes.
be his release from all work,
Right.
everything, and then he comes home and he's going to be a better person for you. You
Yes.
need to be doing
Yes.
the same. You need to
Everybody,
have go hang with your
people think
girlfriends.
that you notice what people also do on that note, what you're saying, they met each other doing things that they like. And now all of a sudden they
Yes,
got together and these
and
things no longer either one person think says that you no longer can do these things, but you met the
yes,
person doing these things. So why they
yes,
cannot continue? These are
yes,
the things that they like. Why would you want to take it away from them? This is a part of
yes,
who they are when you met them. They were doing these
yes.
things and they should be allowed to continue except for dating other people, but they
That
Yeah,
part,
exactly. Sometimes they slide that in there. Another,
that
one of
part.
those. It's,
but
But
their
it's
activities
healthy.
that they were doing, they should continue
It's
doing that. They
healthy.
should not stop those things just because they're in a relationship. No,
I
that's a part
agree.
of who they are.
It's healthy.
I
It's
also
Yeah.
think that
necessary.
I've heard some comments in marriages because people will talk to me because they know it stays there. Like I don't carry their news, but a lot of men are annoyed because women, their women, have this 50 like equally split down the line. Like if I did the dishes Monday, you have to do them. Like it's too literal, is what they're saying. It's too literal. There's some
Right.
things that
Hmm.
someone's doing more than the other person. And someone's coming home
Mm,
late working extra hours. I'm sure you could do like they're just too literal. So he was
right.
getting irritated because they just had a child and it's like as soon as he comes home, she expects him to take care of the baby. So then they had to get a third party counselor involved and the person said that's a little bit unreasonable. Like you're looking at your motherhood as a job of 9 to 5, and at 5 p.m. you clock out. And when the
It's
husband
over.
comes
You're
in, he
right.
clocks
You
in.
should take over.
But
Right.
he has to have a decompression time in between
Yes.
the work and what
Yes.
he went through at work and come home. And now you're making him coming home not very peaceful. So he's going to
Right.
delay coming home. And now you're inadvertently opening the door to other things. So he had to
Right.
have a say to her like you're not doing the right thing. If you need
Right.
a
Hmm.
break, if you need a break from the child, you need to have a conversation about what that break would include and when that break would happen. Not when you come in the
Hmm.
door, here's a baby. That's not
Hmm.
that's not really, and that's what she was doing. And he's like, I'm like, I don't think it's
But
too
that's both ways, because
Mm-hmm.
she is exhausted. Raising a child is not cakewalk.
no, it's
So
not.
when you get somebody who comes, because my daughter, when she stops by with my grandson, I always just take over because I know she's probably most times coming over to get that break.
Exactly.
Um, and so I will take over. But she used to do that kind of with her my grandson's dad. When he would get home, it's like it's your shift, and I'm like, y'all both are exhausted. Let me take him for a little bit. But everybody doesn't have that. But
Right.
I get that he's exhausted because he came from work, but she's
Mhm.
exhausted because her work been happening all this time. So it has to be a compromise somewhere there
Yeah, it
within.
has to be
Maybe
because
we bring
I was
somebody in.
a stay at home
Correct. And
mom,
that's
and
where
I didn't see
grandparents
it
come.
necessary for my husband to take over when he got there. I was a stay at home mom, so I see it in a different light. I didn't see
Mhm.
it necessary for him to
And
take over
you're
the
right.
kids when he got there. I'm there with the kids all day. I don't see that
I hear
necessary.
both
But
sides. Like,
I
yeah,
understand
I
what you're
hear both
saying.
sides. But when you're a
But
stay-at-home
like you're
mother
saying, the
full time,
compression part,
yeah.
she should allow him, if that's what y'all want to do, she
Hmm.
should allow him to come in and decompress first.
Mhm.
First, before she just
Mhm.
throws,
Right,
here's a diapers, here's a child, here's a bottle,
right,
and
Mhm.
right.
and
Yeah.
So I was talking because I can't really say I don't have kids, but I had to babysit some kids, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm tired. I was tired at lunchtime. I'm like, I am tired. I was tired. It's kids. But then I realized you have to be smarter than these kids. You have to know how to tire them out so that you can get a nap. Like there's a whole system to doing it so that
There is.
Mhm,
you can function.
mhm,
Otherwise, hold on. Otherwise, you're going to be run ragged. So,
mhm,
Mhm.
and then even that mentality, like bougie, I think that's a good mentality. If you're a full time stay at home mother and this person's providing and taking care of everything, there
mhm.
has to be a bit of wisdom in how
Yes,
you
yes,
move. You
Mhm.
can't just say, "Here's a
yes,
child," and throw it. Like that's a
yeah,
bit. That's a what's this? What's a verse like? An unwise woman tearing down her own house, and you
right.
have
Yes.
to have the
I
older woman
mean,
advising you because
that
that's
was
not a
my
smart
I
move.
was gonna
reason
say
to
that's
be
definitely
home.
old
That was my
school.
reason to be home. That's what a stay at
Mhm.
home mom is to take care of the kids. Now
And
that
Mhm.
my
I'm
mom
here
did
with
that.
them, now I don't want to do it.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
some of these younger girls don't understand some of the techniques that the mamas were using to get through the day. And you
But
know,
a lot of these younger girls can't stay at home. It takes two people working to run a household these
Right
correct,
days.
now,
correct,
I
today,
grew up
yes,
in a house
yes,
where
correct.
my mom was a stay-at-home mom. My dad worked, but I'm not a stay-at-home mom. Never
No,
have been, and
no.
neither me and my husband have had to work to maintain our
Hmm.
lifestyle. So it is a lot different now, where both parents
Of
are
course.
working. Now there are some families still that have one parent staying at home.
Hmm.
There are still some households that can run that way, but they're less. They're few and far between these days.
mhm,
Most times, both parents are working. When back in the day, our parents, we probably had a parent at home and one
mhm.
working.
So did you have a grandparent helping Gina when you were working?
I know I did.
No, when I was,
My mother helped.
with my kids, they were in.
Mm-hmm.
I did home care providers, so I had a home care provider for both of my girls,
Mm,
So that
where they
costs a
ran
lot of
the
money,
ones
right?
who ran the daycares out of their homes. Yes,
right, right,
I
right.
preferred home cares because they were smaller. Plus, they were more. To me, they were just more intimate.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
almost becomes a
They had a
family with
limited
you and
amount
your
of kids,
child.
right? They only
Yes,
had a limited amount of kids, and it was in the
yes.
home. I did that
But
for
yes,
with
I
my
paid
first one.
for
I
it,
was
and it
working.
wasn't cheap.
That's what I'm saying. It's not cheap, and then that puts
No.
a strain on your relationship in some for some people because the pressure of the finances, the pressure are my kids sick, like all these pressures that you're carrying as a woman, and then men have their own pressures, and no
Mm-hmm.
one's communicating to each other what you're feeling. It just almost becomes a hostile environment. It's like, don't you
Yeah.
know what I'm doing? I have to carry like all what I'm dealing with, and you're carrying the groceries and you're flinging them down, and you're cooking and you're chopping it hard because you're fixed. It's like because
Yeah.
we're all overburdened, overworked. You're like it's difficult. I had to step
Yeah.
in for some friends to watch their kids because that's the least I could do. Because
Yes.
Mhm,
do I want to hear on the news that they shook their baby or they did
Yes.
something stupid? Because I
Yes.
mhm.
realize we can say, "Oh, I would never do that." You're
Mm-hmm.
tired enough, fatigued enough, stressed enough. You may do some foolishness to your own child.
Yes.
Let me assure you. Don't think that would never. I would never hurt. They were fatigued. They were tired. They weren't even. They needed a break. They need to get some sleep. And I
Yes.
said, bring them over, go to sleep. And she knocked out for at least 8 hours.
Yes.
Like
Thank
she
That's
you,
was
why they
Mike.
say
Thanks for
check on
coming
your
out.
friends.
Appreciate you coming to the live. Have a
Yep,
good
appreciate you
day.
guys. We're just I'm not even
That's
looking at the
Mike.
chat.
That's
I can't see the chat because I'm on
Hey,
my
Miss
phone.
ketorific,
AKA lady.
ketorific Mike. He said you got to go walk the dog. See you
One
later.
person shouldn't do more all the time. There are times when it's unbalanced. Yes, there's times when it's unbalanced, but it's not cool. If one person's
That's
carrying
true.
everything, that's not healthy. That's not But there are
I
times
agree
when
with Miss
somebody has to
AKA,
carry
but
more
that's a
than the other.
conversation
Yeah.
that you have to
Mm-hmm.
have with your
Yes.
spouse. Like
Yes.
most times, especially with women, because like I said, I grew up in a house where my mom was at home and my dad worked. I still do a lot of traditional things that a stay-at-home mom would do, although I work.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I go to work, I literally come in the house, wash my hands, and start dinner. I don't even sit down when I come in the house from work. But that's something I did even before I got married. I did that when it was just me and my daughter.
Mhm.
So it's just a habit. But it's because that's what my mom did. She would, by the time we got, my dad was about to get off of work, dinner was being prepared so that when he got home from work, dinner was done.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a habit that I continue. I don't mind doing it. It hasn't become a burden to me. My husband doesn't cook at all. So, but it's just, he doesn't know how. I mean, he could learn, but he's just never had to cook. But it
Yeah.
never was an issue for me. But for some people, they feel like, some women or men feel like,
Mhm.
well, that should be more shared, and that's fine. But that's
Mhm.
a
But what about
conversation you
your
have in the
weaknesses
beginning.
and your
You have to
weaknesses and your
converse. Yeah.
strengths?
Yeah, you got to have those
If
conversations.
you're the stronger cook, then why not you cook? And if he's a stronger
Yes,
something else, he does something else.
yes.
You could.
Like they say, don't start something you're not going to finish. If it's something you don't know, don't do it to get them. Do it
And
because
then
that's what you like to do.
exactly. Yeah.
Right,
So if it's not
right.
something you like to do, you let them know in conversation, like, I
I
did this
do.
for you because I really like you, but this ain't something I do on a regular.
If a
Correct.
man asks me if I know how to cook, I go nope. Because I know where
I'll
that's
just say
going.
I'll tell the truth. I can cook
Nope.
a few things. I'm not the best at everything, but I could cook
Nope.
a couple
I
of
don't play
things.
around. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. I
No,
don't
because
play
you don't want
around
that.
with that.
It's true,
See?
and you're
Because
right. Because
I
you have to
know
like.
there's men that like
Yeah.
women who cook. No, I'm not playing around with that. Nope.
Yeah.
Mhm, mhm.
You got to
Kiki,
be
this is for you.
honest with yourself. Like she said, if it's something that I don't proclaim to be a cook. I do cast iron
Mhm.
Wednesdays. That's because I'm learning how to cook with the cast iron pots. But
Hmm.
like Nikki said, could I come over for breakfast? No, I know how to cook for me.
It's true.
I'm not
Look,
going.
your food be looking
Um,
good for somebody who
I'm not
don't know how to
gonna.
cook.
I
She don't
don't.
want the burden. She don't want the
I
job.
don't claim to be a cook, so I wouldn't say. I don't know if you might. It might be good to me, but I don't know if it's going to be good to you. So if a
Yeah,
man actually you could cook, nope.
Kiki
yeah,
brought up a good point. She said she had postpartum depression and she needed her husband to take the kids so she could go and cry in peace. And a lot
yeah,
of women are going through that, and
yes.
it's hard for men because they don't understand what that is.
No,
Like
because you can't
when it's
see it, you can't quantify it.
no, but
Mm-hmm.
that I've known people who've had that problem and they've had to be coached through what to do because you know and exactly at that point they're maybe carrying more of the burden because they love their wife and she's going through a hard time, so
Hmm.
love carries it through. He'll take on
Mm-hmm.
more of the burden, and when she's feeling better emotionally and mentally she can step back in, but
Right,
there's
right.
no you can't say everything's 50 exactly.
That
There's
you
Yeah,
this
have to
linear
do.
there's
How about doing what needs to be done at the time it needs to be done?
period period
yeah.
That
because
And
if
part.
the person
this
go
is
ahead.
like the bank account thing because I'm looking at Miss AKA's message. It's just
Yeah.
like the bank account thing. It's really what works for you. So for you,
Hmm.
it may not work
Hmm.
for you to work all day and then come home and do duties as if you were a stay-at-home mom. But for somebody else, that might not be a problem.
Right,
There might
right,
be there is somewhere else in the relationship that they need something else, not that part. So
right,
it really just depends on what works for you. Like for me,
right.
like I said, I come home and I cook and I might be straightening up and stuff like that. Not to say that they don't do that stuff because they absolutely do that stuff, but
Hmm.
I come home and do those things every day. That works for me.
Right.
That works for me. So, but it may not work for somebody else. Like my daughter, who was raised by me, don't like to cook. She be looking at her boyfriend like, what's for dinner? And he cooks a lot of the meals. And that's okay for them because it works for
Right.
them.
It
He's
works
okay
for
with
them.
it. So
And
it
like
just depends on what works for you.
yeah, to interject on the cooking part where people say who does what. My ex, I loved his cooking. So you know what I did? I washed dishes.
Yeah.
I was in there the
That's
sous chef.
my husband cleans up after dinner. He does. He cleans up.
I
He
cleaned up
takes
the
care of all
dishes
that.
and put the food away when he cooked.
Yes. And I
Mhm.
appreciate it because when I'm done cooking and I
Exactly.
ate, I'm tired. So
Right,
that's his part.
exactly, exactly. So and
I
then
And
think
I
to
agree
me,
with
that
that.
was
That
my way of showing appreciation that you
correct.
cook. I like when you cook. I'm going to
exactly,
wash the dishes so that you would want to cook, not that you
exactly,
have to cook and wash the dishes. Most likely, you ain't gonna want to
exactly,
be wanting to do all both of those things.
And sometimes
exactly.
I would season the meat. I would have the meat already cleaned and seasoned
That
and
part,
Hmm.
everything portioned out the way. And then when they come in, they just come and take over. You work as a
Hmm.
tag team and
yes.
just,
Yeah, sous
but
chef.
You find out what works for
yeah,
you.
you don't have to be,
And
Hmm.
somebody said it takes a village. It
it does.
absolutely does. But the
Hmm.
thing is, in this day and age, a lot of people don't
Sounds
allow
heavy.
the village to be a part of the equation. The
Hmm.
village that people mention now is just their circle of immediate, like family, their close friends. That's their village. When I was growing up, the village was anybody. It was our neighbors. People don't even know their neighbors anymore. I know my neighbors where I live. I'm not going to live somewhere where I don't feel comfortable to know the people who are living around me. And my neighbors know me and they watch out for us and we watch out for them. That's how I grew up. But it's not a
Okay.
lot of that happening these days. Like most
Yeah.
people just stay in their own
Little,
bubble
little,
in their
yeah. Hmm.
neighborhoods. They don't know their neighbors or they got the neighbor who complain about everything. It's just always something. And
Yeah.
I'm
Hmm.
thankful that I live in an area that I don't have to deal with that in my
Right.
neighborhood right now anyway, because people, my neighborhood is a little bit older, so some of those people are going to be going and new people are going to come in, so we'll see what happens. But
Right.
for now, I don't
Hmm.
have that problem. And if
Oh,
my
sorry.
neighbors were
Okay,
to
go
see
ahead.
my kids do something, we gonna deal with it.
Right. Look at the
Triple threat is
question. We
asking a
have a
question.
question.
I was always the girlfriend, then wife that gave 100%, and I believe that was a bad thing. Your thoughts, please. Sorry, your thoughts, please. Gina first, then Bougie, then I'll just give my 2 cents.
My thoughts is are you giving 100% because that's what you wanted to do or what you thought they needed? Because that's going to make the difference. If you're doing it because you feel like that's what they need in order to kind of commit totally to the relationship, then yeah, that's a lot because you're not doing it because that's just what you wanted to do. Um, but I think when you are, if you're both committed to each other in a way that's healthy, you're probably both giving 100% of yourselves. You should be, in my thoughts.
Okay. Bougie?
When you choose to do something, it's not a bad thing. You chose to do it because you didn't get the what is that word? The feedback
Result,
that you
yeah,
wanted. You
Yeah.
think
yeah.
it was a bad thing, but it wasn't a bad thing. It's something you chose to do. If you choose to give 100% into something, I don't think it's a bad thing. I mean, if you feel, if most of us when we get into a relationship, we want to give 100% into it, but because you didn't get the feedback you wanted from it, you thought it was a bad thing, but it wasn't.
Yeah, I agree with the comments, but I do want to say a little more because I'm that person too, and I think she's a July born and I'm a July born. I think I think that's we have that in common. So you give 100%. There's nothing wrong with giving 100%. You have to be true
Mm-hmm.
to yourself, and if you're doing it
Mm-hmm.
from a willing heart, even the cooking, all we're talking about, if you are doing it from a willing heart, it doesn't matter. You're doing it out of love and care, and you're going to be blessed for that regardless. But that being said, we can't, I said this a couple of weeks ago, maybe months ago now, throw your pearls before swine. You have to determine if the person is worthy of all of what you're doing for them. Because a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times, I know for
Mm-hmm.
me, it has not been reciprocated. So you have to
Yes.
have healthy boundaries and walls up, not as a resistant, but to protect yourself from being taken and used for whatever they're using you for. And if you're always pouring into somebody else 100%, who's
Mm-hmm.
pouring back into you? That's exactly
Mm-hmm.
how I ended up getting depleted. And then I had to get smart fast and say, you know what? I can give a lot, but it doesn't have to be 100%. I can give
Mm-hmm.
75%.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
more than sufficient to what anybody else would be in my category doing. Some people
Give
give
what give
10%.
what's given to you. I'm sorry, that's what
So all
I've
I can
learned to
say
do.
is reciprocate what you're getting.
Yep.
That's what I'm trying to
Yep.
do, because not
Yep.
to be spiteful or
No,
malicious,
it's
but
not being
yeah,
spiteful.
because
I'm
if I
mad.
give 100 and you're
What's
giving
spiteful
50,
about that?
yeah, like, so all I can say, Tarsha, is give what you're getting. If
Mm-hmm.
they're buying a $10 meal, you buy $10 meals. Don't
Yep.
buy
Yeah.
them a $25 meal. If
Unless that's
they're
what you want to do, but then you can't have
no, because you're
buyer's
gonna be
remorse
resentful after. You're gonna get
afterwards.
mad after. You're gonna be mad after. So we
Yeah.
know ourselves.
But if you
Don't do it.
chose to do that, you can't. You have to be accountable for the things that you choose to do. You can't
Damn right.
choose
You're
to
right.
do something and then
Damn right.
somebody
Yep.
don't respond the way you want to, and then you want to
Yep.
get mad. But that's what you
Yep.
chose to do, and like you said, you already knew this person
Yep.
will only buy you a $10 meal, but you decided to buy a $25 meal,
Mhm.
and now because they're not grateful of it, you want to get mad. Nah, you got to be accountable for what you do.
True.
I've lost some
You're
friendships.
right, and I'm right at the same time.
Yes,
Exactly.
Yes.
yes,
Are you doing it because
Yeah.
you want the gratification, just the thankfulness back?
as
Then
Yep.
maybe you shouldn't be
right,
doing it. Maybe you
right.
shouldn't be doing it because you want
Yep.
that what's it call it? That whatever you call it, that word. I
Well,
forgot the word.
sometimes you're doing it because that's who
Validation. You
you
want the
are.
validation. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And I have lost some
Mhm.
actual really close friendships over that. Exactly. Not even intimate relationships, close friendships that go from childhood, because I realized at one point I was putting more into the friendship than they were.
Me too.
Right,
They didn't care about, the same, just things that were just thoughtful to the friendship.
right,
And
right.
so that was gone. Now they tend to like reach out all the time. And they're like, I miss us getting together and things like that, or hanging out. But I'm like, now one thing about me, I love hard, but when I cut people off, you're cut.
Yes,
Like if I get to a point where
yes.
I cut you off, and I don't
Mhm.
know if that's my Pisces thing or not, but
Mhm.
if I cut you off, there's no coming back
That's just
because
a
you
thing.
can't get back
Yeah,
in.
yeah. But you know what? If you do, there'll be repeat offenders.
That's what I feel like. I tell my daughter that. I'm like, we don't go backwards in
Yeah.
relationships or
They're not
anything.
going to do
If
nothing
I
but
if
do the
I walk
same thing
away,
that they were always
yep,
doing. So why allow them to come back?
Hands in
yep,
the Dirt said something. She's saying you could have been giving 100% of what he didn't want or the way he wanted, and
yeah.
that's
Hmm.
wow.
That's true.
That's why I said, was it 100% of what you thought he needed, or 100% of what you
Yeah.
genuinely
Exactly.
just are? That makes a
Hmm.
difference.
So
Because
maybe we need
we
to
think
hang
we
back a bit
know.
until we know what because everybody has their own love language. We've been
Yes.
learning this
Yes,
in the
Yes.
streets,
Yes.
and that's exactly it. Her love language may
yes,
be
Yeah,
acts of
it's
kindness and
different.
doing like things,
Totally different.
and
Men,
his is
yes,
just like
yes.
words of
totally
affirmation.
different.
So
And
if
you
you're
That's a
not,
yes.
conversation that
yeah,
should have been happening a long time ago. I didn't even
But you
start
know
hearing
what?
about love
People don't
languages till
even know
COVID.
that. People don't know that. People are in relationships
No,
thinking that
I didn't know it.
I'm happy with this I'm doing. So you should they think they're happy with the same thing. And no,
Yeah.
they're not
no,
happy with the
no.
same thing.
Nope. How would you
And that was
know?
my problem. You know, that's right, hands in there, because I was doing things 100%, but exactly that's not their love. That wasn't their love
Their love
language.
language. Nope.
And I
Yeah.
had to
Yeah.
learn what their love language was and give them
Right.
what they wanted.
Yep.
Needed.
I'm giving them what I
Right.
wanted to give, and that's not what they
Right.
wanted.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's truth.
exactly.
That's
Yep.
true.
And that's in friendships too, because my love language is acts of kindness. Like I like acts. I
Yeah.
like
Hmm.
I like to be shown. Don't tell me, show me.
Exactly. Right.
And that's probably my biggest one. But
Hmm.
learning that most people don't even know there's love languages.
No, no,
Like I said,
Yeah.
I just heard
no,
about it a few years ago, and I was like,
no,
that makes total sense.
Yeah. Because
no, they don't.
you're spending time getting to know somebody. That should be the goal. And you don't know
Yes.
somebody in 1 year, 2 years. Sometimes it's 10 years you're with a person and you're like, I didn't know that about, like, you're learning something new. So you have to be
Yeah.
putting forth and seeing what they're showing you. And they have a
Yeah.
Hi, my
different
fat
way of
family.
receiving and giving love than you do.
Yeah. And people
There's
grow and they change. They
correct.
don't stay the same. Are you the same person you were 10 years ago? Probably
Not
not.
even
No,
last week.
no,
Because
no,
we grow.
no. Some people grow, not everybody.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, that's
some people
true.
African Dreaming said something to me, and he's like, some people just grow older.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
they're not growing, they're
Yes.
not an elder, they're older, but they're not an
No, they're
Yes.
elder.
older.
And I
Yeah,
was like, that was
exactly.
just like stuck with me. I'm like, exactly. They're
Yes.
older,
Yes.
they're not
Yes.
wiser, they're not better, they're just older.
Yes.
Everybody ain't grown either.
Yeah. And AKA
True.
Lay saying that she's more selective of who she pours into, and now her cup is
You
more
have to
full, and
be.
she's that's
You
Same.
have
exactly.
to be.
Keep
You have to be.
for
You
triple
have
threat, keep your
leeches.
cup
You have
full.
leeches out here. People
Yeah.
will drain you dry if
They
you let them.
will.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But I'm moving differently now because exactly, even I have friendships that I'm still their friend, but not to the same degree. Because
Right.
there are some, I'm not the kind of friend that has to talk to you every day. We're grown now, we're busy, we have lives. And we have scheduled times where we, connect and catch up. But when
Mm-hmm.
something happens, life changing, you're supposed to be there. Period.
Yes.
And when you see those people aren't there, like
Yes.
when we buried my mom and at the cemetery when the body's going down, very few people were there for that whole time. They're at the restaurant already eating the food for the after thing. And the people that were there were 3 people.
Mm.
One person I didn't expect,
Mm.
2
It's
good friends,
always that.
and that
I,
no matter what happens in this life, no matter if we fall out or whatever, those are the 5 people right there. They
Mm-hmm.
because it was cold, it was winter. I understand it's
Mm-hmm.
cold, but they had their boots ready, their coat, their scarf, their hat. They were ready and dressed appropriately to stay there for the time.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of the people I'm like, and
Well,
people
you
say, "Oh,
know,
you're too hard." I'm not
those
hard on
type of
people. I watch
situations.
how you move, and I
Yeah,
remember it. I
yeah,
can't forget certain things.
those type of situations will let you really see what people really think about you.
yeah.
So
Because my BFF, we've been over 30 years. We was been together since 10th grade, and her son got killed in an elevator accident. And you know what the therapist told her? There's going to be a lot of people that you're going to have to cut off.
Yes.
And what happened? Family members and all. A lot of people that she's known for just about as long as me, she don't talk to now.
That's true, badass.
Those
I
things,
I
those
can't talk
things.
to, I can't. I you try to be like just forget it and just but if you are in my inner circle, I can't forget that. Like I
No, you
can't.
can't. You
When
and you shouldn't. When people show you who they are, believe
believe
them.
them.
That
Believe
part.
them.
Believe them.
There's very
Don't.
few times when you're like for me, that's for me. Like I don't ask for nothing. I'm not the kind of friend that has to have favors. Like I take care of myself. But when you know that I'm on the ground and I need to be picked up, your ass better be there. Because I don't ask you for much. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't ask you for money. I don't ask you for nothing.
Same.
I'm the one
I'm the
giving.
same.
So your ass better be there. Because I make
Yes.
sure I'm there. When my family member collapsed in the States, we drove, left work in my uniform, drove over get my passport, not even be it, get my passport, drive over to the US to go to the hospital by their side, to go bring them food, make sure they're okay, to drive back to shower, sleep, go back to work and do it again. And she didn't last a week. Then when the whole drama with that was another story, but you put your money in where your mouth is. I have your back.
Yeah.
If it costs me money, I'm going. We drove over, we packed up in the
Yes.
car, and we to commiserate with them, to encourage them, to see what we could do to make sure that and that's what you do. And no matter what happens, they remember that. I don't have to be there with you for your happy times. It's when you're down and out.
Yes.
And I was
Exactly.
disappointed with some of these people. Anyways, let me keep going.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, my fly family. Does this apply to family? Yeah, it does
Yes.
apply to family. If I'm talking about cutting off
Yes.
people, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
One of my biggest mottos is support is a verb. That means if you support me, if you care about me, you're
I
gonna
should see it
show
in your
me.
actions.
Don't tell me, show
Right.
me. And
Exactly.
that you don't have to be, coddling me all the time or anything. But when
Right.
Urban said, when
When you
something
down,
goes
you got to be
down,
there. Yeah.
you should be there. And
That happened
yeah,
with my BFF too. She had got a blood clot and she was in the hospital. I called out that day. I was talking to another friend of mine, and he like, "Where you going?" Go. I'm going to get us some food, and I'm going to the hospital. Didn't I just tell you my girlfriend in the hospital?
that
Period.
part.
Period. I've
That
slept
part.
I've slept on the hospital floor or in the bed with them.
I was
You
sitting
know,
right next to her in
right
the
there.
ER. Everybody was getting
We
kicked
roll to the
out
left
the
and then we
ER,
roll
but
to
for
the
some
right. We're just there
reason they
together.
let me stay. When she went up on the floor, I was there
Yeah,
with her on the
pretty much.
floor. And
Yeah.
like you said, the next day before I went to work, because I was working the evening shift, I would go to the hospital first,
Hmm.
and then I would go to work.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah.
I
Yeah.
And
basically
even
lived
when
there.
her son passed away, what I did, make sure I told all my kids, call work, tell them you need off, call work, you tell them. And soon as everybody got the word in, they needed to take off, we was headed right to New York.
Yes.
So
Period.
yeah.
Period.
Hmm.
And there's only one family member I don't talk to. I didn't like something, and I laid my line in the sand. That like I drew my line in the sand. But my
Hmm.
problem with that is that people are very petty. So my cousin, I loved her mom, my aunt, but I told my aunt, I ain't rocking with that. Period. I'm not gonna do it behind your back. Like even at a family function, she came to irritate me, and I just ignored her, and I almost punched her, and I had to really hold my peace because they like to provoke you. They like to provoke you. Anyways, I don't talk to her. I don't associate with her. She's not welcome in my home. She's not welcome in some of our homes because of what she did was foul as far as I'm concerned. That does
Mm-hmm.
not mean that I don't take care of my aunt or my uncle. When they were in the hospital, even though I can't stand her, guess where I
Mm-hmm.
was?
Mm-hmm.
The only problem I didn't like with her is because when it became more palliative, she took my uncle to her home. So I had to call to ask if I could visit. Didn't want to call, but I'm the bigger person to make sure I
Mm-hmm.
could see my uncle. And it was basically the answer was no
Yeah.
on his deathbed. My hands are clean because even though I don't
Yeah.
like you, I don't rock with you. I did not use that as a blockage to prevent me from caring for
Yes.
my aunt and uncle. You're gonna go to hell for that, not me, because I
Mm-hmm.
and then vice versa. I never stopped them from seeing my family members or my mom or my dad. I don't like you. That's between me and you. That's not between the whole
Yes.
family. So I don't bring it
Yes.
like that, like a family war. But I put
Yes.
my line in the sand. If you're gonna go to the left, I'm going to the right, and we're no longer going to be in association with each other. She made her choice. That's fine. I made my choice, and that should also be fine. So now
Mm-hmm.
it's like this whole thing, like she's making it this whole thing like we're against her. I don't talk about her. I don't call your name. Your life is irrelevant to me now. I don't spend my days thinking about you. You're irrelevant to me. If I see you in public, I won't be saying hello. I,
Yeah.
I I don't know you, you don't know me. That's how we move. But she's making
Mm-hmm.
it seem like, oh, they don't know. If you want to come to pay your respects, I will never stop anybody from paying their respects. I don't move like that. But
Is she
she
a
Exactly.
baby
does.
boomer? Is she a baby
So
boomer?
family, friends, childhood friends, when somebody shows you, you gotta cut them loose. You have to cut them
Yeah.
loose.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
not good for you. They're not good.
Hmm.
And I make no apologies for that at this point, because some
Is
of the
she a,
best
is
people
she
in my
a
life, we don't share the
urban?
same blood. They're complete strangers. Some of the
That
best
part.
people that had my
Yeah.
back, we don't
Yeah.
share the same blood.
Yeah. Family has a totally different meaning to it today.
Mm-hmm.
That being
People
said,
think
if you're my blood, I'll go
family,
out for
it
you.
may not be
I'll
your
ride for
blood.
you. But
When you come to find out, family may not even be your blood.
no, they're not. They're hey, Audacity Dawning. They're not. Yeah, they're not my blood. And my blood, like my sisters, my blood sisters, they don't have to act. Like they know if they need backup, they know who to call. They know. I've had to back. Someone's bought what pajamas,
Yeah.
road drive, go deal with it. Like that's how
Same.
they
Same.
know.
I
We have
actually
each
come
other's
from a
back.
very close knit family, from aunts to cousins to
Mhm.
everybody on my mother's side anyway. We're
Yeah,
all like very, very like something happened, you're gonna probably see all of us on the highway. Even if we ain't
yeah,
talk to each other, we all gonna be waving like we all headed to the same place. But
yeah.
that's how we roll. But on my dad's side, I can relate to that. Like I don't really talk to most of my cousins on that side because it's a little messier over there, and I don't want it.
I don't. But Torsha's talking about friendship. Some same thing. She's saying sometimes they don't do the same for you. Definitely, I've experienced that. But when I do
Hmm.
something, I talk to myself about it first. I'm like, is it gonna bother me if I do this and I don't get it
Yeah,
done? I
I
have
mean,
to. I'm
even
like,
just for you to say that, you shouldn't do it. Just that
exactly.
thought alone. If you got to ask yourself that, then you shouldn't even be doing it.
Yeah.
something that you enjoy doing, you don't got to ask yourself to do it. You just
Not
Yeah.
go
even
ahead and
enjoying,
do it.
just like if somebody, I don't know, like I'm not going into detail. I'm trying to be vague, but sometimes you have to ask yourself, do I? Because you don't. Some things you're not gonna get back. You're not. You're just
But
not. They don't have
if
it
you
in
have
them.
to ask yourself, don't
You
do it.
shouldn't do
If you
it.
got
Yeah.
well,
Oh, I've done
yeah,
some
if you have
things.
to ask yourself to do it, then don't do it. If you got to question
Yeah.
it, then it's not for you to do.
I've done
Anything
few
that you
things.
do, it should be peaceful and
I'm
You're,
willing
usually
you're
moved to
led.
right.
do
You're
it.
right.
Yeah. It's like
It
in my
should be
spirit that I need
peaceful
to do
and
it.
something that's coming from
Hmm.
your heart to do. But if you got to
Yep.
sit there and have a conversation with yourself about it,
Don't do it.
I say don't do
Yeah. I agree.
it.
So I've been doing that
Yeah.
lately. Like some things, I'm like, I'm not doing it, and they're like, well, I go, I'm not doing it. By no should be no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's it. Like I'm not. If I want to
No
do
is a
something,
no is a sentence. No, period. That's the whole
right.
sentence.
exclamation
That's a
point. You
sentence.
know
No is a
exactly.
complete sentence. No is a complete sentence.
And
Mhm.
people keep irritating me because they're trying to change my no.
I had to learn that. I was not a no person. I felt
Me
guilty to
either.
tell people
Me
no.
either.
And I had to get comfortable with no being a complete, like you
Yeah,
said, complete sentence.
complete sentence.
And
Period.
now
Yeah.
I am.
And your reason
I'm a
for not
no.
doing it.
I
If
don't need
you
a
say
reason.
no, you don't
No.
need another reason. No
That's
is your
right.
reason.
Yeah, I
Right.
don't need
No is
another
your
reason because
reason for not
exactly if I
doing
don't
I
it.
had
feel
to
that
get
I'm gonna do
comfortable with
it
that.
without
No is
any,
your why. When they say why, because I said no.
because I said no. Sometimes you just know that you shouldn't do something. You just have a feeling. I can't explain it. Sometimes I just know I shouldn't be involved
And
in
then
it.
that's why you shouldn't do
Yeah.
it. You listen. Us women have very good intuition, but we
Tuition.
don't listen to it.
Yeah.
Your intuition will never steer you wrong.
And every
Yeah.
time, so for instance, here's a simple example. Nothing extraordinary. There's a person, and my family's like, oh, they're looking for a tradesperson, and I said to them, if you have a good tradesperson, do not recommend them to this person. And they're like, why? I go, some people have a problem paying the bill at the end of the time. And if you know your family member or friend is like that, don't recommend good tradespeople to them because it's going to cause a
Right.
problem with you're
Right.
a good
Which yeah, it's gonna
tradesperson
make you look
and
bad.
you're right.
Yeah.
I said that so much time. And this lady, I said, this lady is trouble. I said, she's trouble with a capital T. I can smell it a mile away. Stop. Do. Anyways, the person recommended somebody to this person. Same thing that I said happen. She don't want to pay and blah, 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 blah. There are tradespeople that I deal with that when they're doing the job, they find other things that need to be addressed. So instead
Yeah.
of them being shady and not addressing them, they tell you, listen, it's better that I do all this and that so that you'll have less problems in the future. And, they go ahead and fix it and they charge you a little extra because they had to do something else. To me, that's reasonable.
Mhm.
I buck up with a tradesperson. I did not know my family recommended this person to this lady that I told them don't recommend it. I met him. He was talking and telling a story about the person. Didn't tell me the name. Didn't tell me, he goes, yeah, and blah, 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 blah. I said, hold on a second here. Is it this person? Then my family member, hey Marlon, my family member looked at me because like, oh shoot, because they didn't want me to know because the same thing I warned them about, they went and go did. She wouldn't pay him the difference. And then she asked him to donate to a charity or something that she was associated with. And he was like, so he was livid because he goes, that's why I don't like you people with and this God thing. You use God as a weapon.
Hmm.
I said,
Some do. Yes,
because he
some
was
do.
talking to you because you use God as a
Sometimes.
weapon. Because he said something else happened to him where the person did him dirty and was like, oh, God's going to judge you. He said,
Hmm.
again, using God as a weapon. I did not do anything wrong. You were in the wrong. You left the job before the job was completed and you want me to pay you your wages. I'm not paying you. So don't try to curse me and say God this and God that. Then the lady, he said, oh, give to this charity because you're supposed to help and be a godly. Again, he goes, you like to use God as a weapon. He goes, and it's cursing. I'm like, but he's right. It's just two different scenarios, but you're both using God as a weapon. You're
Mm-hmm.
supposed to pay the man what the job that you agreed upon,
Yep.
and he did a little extra. Hey, micro, pay him
Hey, big
extra.
ass.
And because I warned my family, they wouldn't tell me because they knew I was right. And this is the whole point. I go, I'm never I'm not being cocky, but when I tell you something, I'm not wrong. I can
Right.
see things that the eyes cannot see. Don't
Hmm.
go down the road. I'm telling you. And some people
Yeah.
listen and some people
Some
don't.
people
And I've
don't.
never
Yeah.
been wrong. I have this, I can see something before it happens. I can tell you the next 5 moves. It's going to go this way. Oh, no, it's not. Then it happens. How'd you know? I don't have to tell you how I know. I just know. But back to the conversation. Mike, Hands in the Dirt said something. I'm trying to find his comment. Um, oh,
You
there it
said
is. Let me see what it
men,
says.
most
He
men.
said,
Okay.
most men are pretty simple with what they want in a relationship. Most will show you or tell you, but women will say we don't communicate. We do, but you're not listening because it's different. That yes, that's the truth. I think he's
Hmm.
telling them, yep,
That goes back to that love thing that we was talking
love
about
language. Yeah,
earlier. The love language. You
popped up
not
this morning.
knowing
It's so
each
nice
other's
to come
love
across.
language.
Oh, yes, good to see you. Try it, buy it, make it. I've never seen you before, but I think the algorithm is pushing me out because there's some people popping up that has I've never seen before. So
And welcome to the live. Thanks
welcome to
for
the
joining
live.
us.
I feel guilty to tell somebody no, and then would make
Me too,
you
Tarsha.
feel even more. Oh, be
Not anymore, but I
confident with your
used to.
no. Be happy in your no.
You know what those
Yes.
are? Those are control people.
Yeah,
Those are
Yes.
people that's trying to control you when
They're
they don't want to accept your
manipulators.
no.
They know.
manipulators.
Yes,
They
manipulators.
know that you don't feel comfortable in your no. That's that they
Hmm.
Yes,
manipulate you to a yes.
Not
I
business
used to
with
be
them, triple
Tarsha.
threat.
I know what she
Yeah.
means. I
I
used
know
to
what you
be that
mean.
way.
And they, well,
You
maybe
tell them
can
no,
you?
you stand on your no. No business with
I
them
have people
feeling,
all the
trying to
time
make you
like,
feel
why you
guilty.
don't want to do XYZ? Why you don't want to ever do? I
Because
don't
I
want to.
said no.
That's not my
Exactly.
that's not for me, and you go enjoy
Exactly.
yourself. Me being there
Right.
ain't gonna stop you from enjoying yourself. Have fun.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
And half the time they want you to pay some part of the bill or something. There's some ulterior motive. I've learned.
Drive
Trust
or
me.
something.
Yeah,
Mm,
they want to ride, they want to drive, they want to cat something. Hands of the dirt. I think
mm.
that's women's way of trying to get more from her man. Men are simple, but we are not necessarily that simple. So there is a common ground that needs to be met. Yes, there's some kind of, as I
Hold
said,
on,
we're
hold
not
on, hold on,
communicating.
hold on to
Uh
that
oh,
one. Go
uh
back
oh,
to that one.
back.
Yeah, go
Okay,
back to
back it
that
up.
one. It says, I don't think that's women's way of trying to get from their that word you use, trying. This is where communication has to come in. You can't expect somebody to know what you want if you're not telling them what you want. That's where we go back to that guessing thing where you were like how
Mhm.
you were saying you thought your husband should know why you were
Was
mad.
mad.
Um,
Yeah.
things are only complicated if you make them complicated. Um,
Yes.
Mhm.
things are simple if we have we have to have that communication, and we have to know, like how we saying that what you like and what your partner likes. You have to know those things, and like we said before, you can't think what you like is what your partner like. You have to know what it is your partner like.
And I don't think, as you said before,
Also,
go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say also one thing I had to always tell my husband when we were having a disagreement about something and we weren't seeing it the same. And it could be
Right.
something stupid, just something we're watching on TV. But I always have to tell him, you need to listen to understand. You're always listening
Mm-hmm.
to respond. And I can tell you're listening to
Yep. Yeah.
respond because you didn't hear anything that I said. Because you literally go back and say what I said because you didn't hear it when I said it, because you were ready to respond. So
Right.
when you're having a conversation with someone, even when you're trying to tell someone what you need from them, the person being told needs to listen to understand. Because if you listen to understand, then you will, even if it doesn't align with what you thought it should be, you're going
Mm-hmm.
to understand where they're coming from. But if you're listening to respond because you're taking it as if they are saying something different, that means they don't agree with what you're doing. It doesn't mean that. It just means that that's not what I need. So I'm trying to tell you what I need. And if you continuously don't listen to understand, now we're going to go apart because you're never giving me what I need.
Right.
And I've
Okay.
told you.
You know, when you say that men listen to respond, that's how they built. Men, when you come to
They
men,
Yeah.
want to
men don't
fix. They
think
want to fix things. Yeah.
that you, yeah, they ready to fix something. So they thinking whatever you telling them is something
Some
for them
women
to,
can be
for
like that.
something to fix. So
Hmm.
they're not listening. Well, sometimes they don't know how to just listen to listen. It's like
Hmm.
they thinking if you're complaining, it's something they need to do about what you're complaining, and you might just be blowing off steam and really don't want
Just
them to do
venting.
anything.
Well, Hands in
Yeah,
the Dirt has another paragraph. He says, on fire today,
Listen.
most men are willing to communicate, but we are not your girlfriends and don't want all that extra and
extra.
over
Yep,
communicate. All those
yep,
words.
yep,
You mean the word, all those extra words because you
yep,
don't hear.
No, that goes back to
yep.
listening to understand. You can't
Hmm.
have yours listened to and hers not. She communicates differently. It may
Yes,
be wordy, but you
yes,
need to listen.
But
So
you
yes,
know what?
listen, if you
yes.
want us to
We
be
are
listening,
extra. Yes, we are.
you
We are
better
extra.
listen.
I
No,
have to
we
laugh because
don't
I'm
speak
that
in
female that doesn't like all
monosyllables
those
like
words.
y'all do.
Like my friends talk to me, I'm like, you talk too much. Like there's too many words.
Yeah,
Get to the
I don't
point.
have a lot of words
And they're
either,
like,
but
you're such a bee. I'm like, you
you
take too
I
many
have a lot of
words.
words.
I
Get
always
to
tell
the
my
point,
husband
please.
he is the woman in our relationship because he's wordy. Get
Mm.
to the point. You take it all day. I'm trying to finish his sentences and I have to stop doing it. Say it. Come on, spill.
I'm like, come on, like I got things to do. I got laundry to wash, and you're still talking. Then you're on speakerphone. I have you on
But
speakerphone, and I'm
yep,
walking around my house cleaning, and you're still talking. I'm like,
yep.
what have
But
we
I had to
resolved?
learn to hear all that. I had to learn to listen to all that because in all that, I was going to get the understanding of what he was trying to say.
True,
Right.
but you have to,
It's
you
Yes,
have
it's
to
hard.
we're going to get to the point, but we got to tell you how we getting there. So hold
That's my
on.
husband. I don't need
I
all
gotta
that.
draw the map and show you all the main points first, and then we're gonna
Yes,
go on a
yes,
journey.
I
we
don't need
And
all
I'm
do.
that.
thinking,
Give us
wow.
that. That's what we
You're
need.
probably going to mention people I ain't never heard
Yeah,
of. I
yes,
don't
we
want to hear of.
are.
I
Yes,
don't need
we
all
are.
that.
Hey, Erica, good morning.
Yes, we are. We got to
Angela's
tell you the
Canvas. I'm
whole
behind the chat.
story
Sorry, guys.
that comes up to the point.
Yeah, like
Ah,
I'm not overly wordy either, so I can
me neither.
understand that. But you can't exactly. Good morning to you, Indiana. I don't think I said hi to
Hey,
you.
Indiana.
No one's a mind reader, so you have to be
No,
willing to
no.
listen, and you have to be willing to communicate, to say, verbalize your points. Some people can't verbalize. It's important to be friends first before being in a serious relationship. You need to be friends and get to really know each other. That's true because sometimes you get with somebody and you don't like them. You realize I don't even like you. How the hell did I get here? I'm bringing up. I don't even like
Uh
you.
oh.
You knowing. Hey,
Who's coming
Michael.
up?
Is I'm
Oh,
on?
Micro.
You're on, Michael. You're on.
See you later, hands in the dirt.
Oh
Oh,
Thanks
no,
for
he's
coming
on.
and
Okay.
stopping by.
y'all can hear me. Is I'm up?
I can hear you, Michael. I can't see you though. I
Okay.
don't know if it's just me.
No,
I,
I can't. I don't see him either.
I know I'm black, but I ain't that black.
No, hold on. I hear you.
I
I
can
hear you
see
on
it.
my
No,
computer,
I don't
And
see
you
anything.
friend,
It's
and you
but
know
I
I'm
dark.
don't
not
see your
black.
camera. But I can hear you.
All right, hear me. I'm just
Yeah.
laughing because y'all three women just ran hands of dirt off y'all live.
No, we
Like,
didn't.
hands of,
Stacey
Stacy is fine. He is
y'all
just
made it,
fine.
easy to run.
y'all made it too hot for that man, and he took off running.
Oh
What?
no.
Stacy
No,
is
we
good.
didn't. Stacey ain't
He's
even know he
always
need
wrong
to
because he
Stacy,
run.
knows.
Stacy, if you listen behind the scenes, hold your ground like Carter.
Stand your ground.
Murengue.
Man,
Ain't nothing wrong with
Hey,
Stacey.
David, Corey.
Murengue.
yeah.
Hey,
Um,
David.
anyone that I missed, I think I
Hi,
got everybody
David.
now.
Yeah,
David says
y'all
something important here.
gems.
Stacey said he's in Florida.
He
That's probably
is
why he's getting off.
Yeah, he's
nice.
enjoying a trip. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Make
But
sure you pick up some trees while you're there, Stacy.
all right.
It
Stacy.
seems like everybody who go get some trees.
Okay.
But anyway, I just wanted to say, y'all ladies, I just run a Walmart. But y'all are speaking some truth there. There's a lot there. But don't attack the men when they come in because they disagree with some of y'all. Y'all done ran hands of dirt to go get some trees or whatever.
Oh no.
No,
He was
be
right. His
quiet
points
No,
were
with your
good. His
big
points were
head.
very good. I'm
Your
never
point
gonna take.
right.
they were. They were
His points
valid.
were good.
Yeah,
And I'm hearing him because exactly. Sometimes men tell you, but you have to be listening. Some of us
Right.
were not.
But,
So
but for all the ladies, if your husband comes to you to talk, listen to him, because most men ain't gonna talk to you. I don't talk to my wife about my problem. I do my own thing. If you do have that kind of spouse or a boyfriend that come and talk to you, y'all need to just listen to those guys, because most men don't talk to their wives about their problem. They deal.
But you should.
That's why we die early. We be stressed out, and the wife.
That's what I was gonna say. That's why y'all
Mhm.
should, because my husband doesn't talk to me about things until it hits the fan, and I'm like,
yeah,
why didn't you come to me?
Mhm.
You stretched
Mhm.
yourself out about this, carrying this by yourself for all this time when you didn't have to.
Could it be that they think that they're the ones that solve the problem? They're
correct.
Yeah,
problem solving minded,
They're
that
the
they
man.
feel
They
that,
have
yeah,
to.
they could
but,
solve
It's
but,
their
their
own
job.
problems. They don't want to come to
hold up.
somebody.
I blame y'all women on that too. But that's
No,
You
hold
blame
up,
yourself.
no.
You ain't
Now, here,
blaming
Let him
me.
finish. Let
No,
him finish.
sir. No,
Let's hear
sir. Be
Michael.
accountable for what
run
you
it.
do on your own, sir.
Here's the reason why no man besides microphone will come up against y'all, because the rest going to like they don't know what they talk about, man. That's why I don't get in it with the women. I'm gonna get
Don't
in it
say
with.
y'all.
We
Don't put me
not up
in
here
there.
I'm gonna
bashing
jump in it.
nobody, though. We
Reason
not up
why,
here bashing nobody.
because
We saying that there has
to
to be a
raise a man.
compromise.
Okay, here it goes. No compromising a man. But anyway, this is what I'm saying. Men are rigged that way. Women are born emotional. They are or what you want to call
Yes.
caretakers, right? Men are
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
protectors. But what happened is, if a man comes to speak to his wife, you heard some women, not all women, I'm not speaking for everybody. They don't like a weak man who has to come and talk to his wife. They figure he should figure it all
And
out.
what is that weak about that? You coming to
No,
your
There
spouse and
are
sitting
women
down and
like that.
speaking to
I
them.
was
He's
That
telling
ain't
the
nothing
truth.
weak
so,
about that. That's
but
not
There
Boozy,
isn't.
a sign of weakness.
It isn't, but there are women that are like that. And there's a lot of viral videos that have been women talking like that
that's what I'm saying.
about stuff like
Women
that.
But
handle.
long as you know that there's some of us that's out there that does not think like that.
Exactly. A lot of men out here don't think that y'all B's and H's, right? But that's not all of us. We're not all doggies either, right? But at the end of the day, that's how men are rigged. Boys are rigged that way. They are protectors. They want to fix things, like y'all was saying. We want to fix things, but then we got to learn to sit back. So it takes a lot of good men to realize the wife is just talking to you. She's just venting. She don't really want your decision. She already.
Right,
Yeah.
right, right.
So I
Yeah.
learned, because I was more stern. I said that in the live before. When you unsensitive to certain things with a woman, it can mess up your relationships. It can.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
she just wants you to listen. And now, if a man comes to his wife or his spouse, whatever significant other, and start trying to talk as a man, that means he's reaching out to you. And sometimes women shut him down because some women, not all women, make that man feel like he's weak. He can't come
Mhm.
to a problem because that's your job. You're a man. Put your big boy panties on, or what they call. Pull your drawers up. Pull your pants up. That's how we've been raised. You don't go crying to another man about you ain't got no money. You go out there and get that bag. You find what you got to do.
Yes.
Women are
True.
telling, because the women have put men to a position where if he can't provide for her, then he's weak, and that's how men think. And then those weak-minded men, the women
Well,
do that.
whoever you with, you have to decide if that person is thinking like you or not.
Yeah, but we always thinking about the body. We always looking at the body and the looks and stuff, and don't realize that's the wrong person. Yeah, she got a great face and got a body, but she's the wrong person for you.
Well, then you have to know if you're not in a place where you need to be, you got to know to leave.
Yes, you're right. You're 100% right on that one.
Mhm.
But the pressure is on because you had heard it through the Kevin Samuels, where women saying the man's got to be a certain way, he got to be a provider. If he can't provide, she don't want him.
Yeah, but you know what? We can't be focusing on these negative stuff. We need to be able to talk to each other about tools that we can use to help each other in our relationships, regardless of who is
Yeah.
doing what. What
Mhm.
are the tools do we need that can help in these situations? So, like what you're talking about, what are the tools?
Correct.
Is
What if we got to say solution minded? Forget about what's happening. We already know what's happening. What is the solution to what's going on? Stop talking about what's going on. We already know what's going on. What is the solution? If you come with a problem, come with the solution to the problem. So the problem, you say there's women out there that's making men feel weak when they come to talk to them. What is the solution for that?
the sisterhood that's right now, that's three up here in the sisterhood, to talk about that. Sisters, we don't need to be masculine. We need to listen to our husbands who come to us, because we're the men. you're talking to a man. A woman can't tell you what a man's thinking. A man, if I want to know something about a woman, I'm going to ask a woman. I'm not going to go
Right,
ask.
exactly.
So if the men will come up on your panel and talk without them thinking scared of getting jumped on, then you can come up with a solution. But most men are going to sit behind the scene and later on going to be like, them women up there crazy. This is the reason why we don't
Well,
talk to them.
that's where you know not to talk to those people. You got to know who to talk to and
True.
who
Yeah,
not to talk to. I'm in on a lot of lives, and I just sit there and I listen. Everything that you hear, you don't have to contribute to it. You could
yes,
just sit there and listen. If you know that these are the people where if you express how you feel are not going to accept your feelings and
mm-hmm.
respect your feelings, then you don't need to be talking to those people.
True. But
Right.
the point is, it's called sisterhood. Y'all call it sisterhood. That's what y'all call it. We got boyhood, right?
No, I don't know. I don't know what you call it and what you're talking about, but
I think
Where
he wants. I think he wants to address some issues, and then
you
that
ask
he's
for a
finding,
solution,
and
the solution,
we talk to
the,
the women about it, and
the,
we talk about solutions.
the solution is women talking to women, the ones who think they or know they got their stuff together. This is what y'all need to do, right? What you're doing right now is come up with a solution. Sisters, y'all need to listen to the men. If a man comes to you, that doesn't mean he's weak. I'm just not for you, Bougie, and the rest of y'all here. But this
Right.
is what y'all sisters need to grab other sisters or at least start having a forum for sisters to understand positivity, not man bashing. I know they thought Urban Garden was man bashing last week, but it's not man bashing. It's teaching the women, the ones who are successful in a relationship and marriage, is to explain how they get in there
And
without
how they
being
stay there, and how do you stay there?
yeah, how you
That's
stay there.
more important. It ain't about how you get there, it's how you
You
stay in
stay
it.
there.
A
exactly.
lot of people get there,
Exactly.
but a lot of people can't stay in it. And it's
I
not
mean,
easy.
everything is not going to be for everybody because you got some people out there that don't want to learn nothing or don't think they need to learn anything about relationships. So even though we have these talks and stuff, so, I mean, it's just what they said. We just planting seeds, and that's all we could do.
Yes.
We
Yeah,
Yep.
plant
plant the
them,
seeds.
but the
Yeah,
other people have to water them. We can't go water them and go check on them and see how it's doing. All
Yes.
we could do is just plant the seed,
And
Yeah,
you
and
have to
that's
be
it.
willing to listen as well. Like one thing I know when I met my husband's family, and I was talking to his uncle once, and this was not right when I met him, but after we got kind of closer, and he had been married 2 or 3 times already, and he was dating someone at the time, and I'm like, and none of his other marriages worked out, and I'm like, did you bring those women around your sisters and your mother and your, the women in your family? And he said, no. I said, this woman, if you get serious, you think you're getting serious about her, you need to bring her, because that's, who gonna tell you something ain't right with a person? The women in your family.
yep,
They
mm-hmm.
gonna be right about it too, because we women know women, just like you just said, Micro. Women know women, and men
Mm-hmm.
know men. When I got
Mm-hmm.
serious about my husband, he had to come around my brothers. He had to
Exactly.
come around all the men that
Mm-hmm.
I respect in my family,
Yep.
because they had to let me know if they saw something that I wasn't seeing,
Exactly.
because I'm a woman. So I think that's really important too, and being open to listen. Don't be
Humble,
stuck in the fact
humble.
that you feel something really, good about this person as the person who's dating them, and you don't want to lose that feeling, knowing that that feeling ain't gonna last, because these people are telling you that ain't it.
Yeah.
Mm,
That ain't it. And when you find out 3 years later, and you're suffering in silence because you don't want those people to know that what they said happened,
that's true. Yeah,
you
There you
could
go.
just eliminate all that. You gonna get those feelings again for somebody else. Trust me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Lashes said a lot of men are complaining that the women are not submissive. Most of us
yeah.
weren't taught to be submissive, but it's never too late. That submissive word has a lot of meaning. Have different meanings for everybody. So, what kind of submissive are you talking about? I have a
And I don't
problem with
think
that word.
I
Yeah.
do
You know,
too,
I
because I
personally
don't
have
think
a
that it's
problem with
that we're
that
not
word.
taught to be submissive. I think that sometimes women, especially ethnic women, have been stuck in playing both roles because the man has left for whatever reason when their families start, and then because they've gotten there, it's harder to be submissive because you're used to doing all the things. When I met my husband, I had to unlearn to do some of the things that he felt like he should be doing because he was the man of the house, and I'm like, Well, I've done it, all these years. I was single for 12 years. So with
Mm.
me and my daughter, I was doing everything. So I'm like, okay, well, now I've gotten to the point where I could submit those things to him because, I had to get there though. It wasn't just easy because I was the person who took care of everything in my house.
So
Okay.
what I'm hearing
Sorry,
you saying
I'm gonna
that,
go there. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna go there. I just want
okay,
to acknowledge that David had a good point from a while
okay.
ago that
He
most people
does.
have been scared in childhood, and that's where their mind is stuck. So that
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
confirms what we were talking about already. I'm gonna go down to lashes now. So submissive. I think that word. Well, Indiana says that he's a good listener, but I don't do a lot of talking. He knows me so well. He knows before I tell him. So I guess they've been together for a long enough time that
Mm-hmm.
they're in
No,
sync. They're in
he
sync.
knows her. Yeah,
Yeah.
he knows her.
Erica says, I listen to my husband when he speaks, but if things are too much, I turn around, roll my eyes, and then go back to listening. Well, at least you're listening, Erica, but don't roll your eyes,
I
please.
think she was saying she like y'all all that talking is too much. She like
Oh, the
get
too
to
much.
the
Okay,
point.
okay, yeah. Like
Yeah.
when some people are very wordy, but you have to just laugh
Yes.
because at least they're talking to you. Oh, she's saying we complement each other. My husband believes in communicating. I am better since being with him. That's lovely.
Yes.
I'm gonna scroll down. I'm gonna miss some comments, so I'm gonna go down to lashes. Let's discuss, I guess, submission because that word it
Okay.
feels weak, but I know it's not
It's
weakness.
not.
It
It's
just
Yeah.
not
feels that way to me. So, what do you guys think? Well, Micro first. What do you think
man
of
part. A man
submission,
part.
please?
I can give you my man part. I gotta get my butt out of here. My man
Yeah.
part submission has different levels of the game. I want my wife to be submissive, but I don't want her to kiss my butt or my feet. You get what I'm saying? It's a difference.
No.
Okay.
Elaborate. I need some elaboration.
Yeah,
What
I'm
do you
getting
need? What do you want her to submit to?
okay. Submit. See, some of our sisters, when we say submit, they mean like we want them to kiss our butt and lay down and kiss our feet. No, that's not submit. I know that's the thing that people think that you got to be humble, stand behind me. No, submissive was just what Gina was saying. Certain things your husband has to be the leader. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Submit certain
Mm-hmm.
things. That means submission. Submission doesn't mean kiss my butt and everything I say we got to roll with it. You know what I mean?
Allowing him to lead.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
not okay. Not to lead you in the wrong direction. Is a
No, no. I mean, allowing him to take the lead. If something is going on and you allowing him to take the lead of something. Yeah.
but I think when women, some not all women, when they hear the word submissive, they thinking of stand behind me, you not equal to me, you have no reason to talk to me, is what I say on the highway. That's sometimes that word submissive, that's what comes in people's heads. That word submissive, but submissive don't mean that. It means
Okay.
what you want to say all the time, Bougie. It's called compromise, but that's the word you use, compromise. But basically, it's submissive to me. It's
Yes.
that
Okay. Okay.
you
Okay.
use compromise,
Okay.
but
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
the way you using compromise is submissive. It's
Okay.
with
Yes.
it's certain
And,
things. As a woman, you know if your man's leading you to demise. I don't gonna lie. I've been around this world, and you know when that man's leading you the way your bank account's gonna be empty. You know what I mean?
Right.
He come every week. He come with a harebrained scheme. He's emptying your bank account. That's a dumb submissive. But my wife
Okay.
pulled the rings back on me, and I can pull the rings back on her. When she want to buy them
Yes.
shoes and stuff, and she buying all these technology, I gotta pull the rings back a little bit. But I let her do her thing, and she let me do my thing. Like you think these
Yeah.
garden stuff out here, she give two hells like you don't give a damn about gardening. As far as she concerned,
Uh-huh.
Walmart and that supermarket down there. Like you
Uh-huh.
said last week, you're a prepper. You're not into gardening. You don't give a damn about a seed. Just throw it in the dirt, right?
sorry.
We're listening. So
Yes.
when I go buy a $60 tree, to her, that's a waste. A $60 tree, you can go get you some on your own
Uh-huh.
damn out of the supermarket for $3.99 a pack. To me,
Mm-hmm.
that's my little end. So she's submissive when I go out here and buy stuff. When you see my little
Mm-hmm.
that's
Mm-hmm.
buying stuff and just doing stuff and
Mm-hmm.
stuff, to her that's a waste. But to me, 50 bags, 5,000 shoes is a waste to me. But at that time,
Uh-huh.
I'm letting her live her life and I'm living mine. So that's why I'm talking about submissive. Why she don't
Mm-hmm.
I
have
think
Uh-huh.
I just
yeah.
want to add in my
I
two
agree with
cents.
that.
So I think, yeah, that clarifies it for me. But I also think the way women present themselves in terms of femininity, like some women nowadays are not very feminine in their tone of
Mm-hmm.
voice, in their, their body, like the way they move. I can't really put it into words. Like even sitting with your knees together, being ladylike, allowing a man to open the door and positioning yourself to be feminine and to have like you have to position yourself, and the way, like,
Urban,
even the
I don't mean
volume
to
of
cut
your
you off,
voice,
but
the tone of your
um,
voice is very, can be very rough and very, just not feminine. I think that's what men are
mhm,
also trying to vocalize. Like, they don't mind an intelligent woman speaking her ideas, but like, if you're in a group of people, you're not like, yeah, you know, you're like over talking, over louding him up,
mhm,
and
mhm,
like soft. Just say, "Hun, I
yeah,
think," whisper an idea in his ear and make it, like just that softness. You
yeah,
don't have to be loud and brawling and
mhm,
and
mhm.
voluminous and even oops,
So
Urban,
lashes.
Urban,
Hey, how
so
are
I
you?
want to say something before I get off here.
hold on 1 second. Let Urban
Okay.
address Bronze Fox. He's new to you. That person is
Yeah,
new
I
to
said
your
hi, Bronze
channel.
Fox. Thank you for coming. And
Okay.
I do see S and MJ's garden. I've seen you in these streets.
Hi, S and
Thank
MJ.
you for
I
coming.
have seen them.
I've seen her in these streets, and but yeah, just that softness. I think a lot of us, we just have to do things on our own. We got to get the job done. And inadvertently, we may have gotten a little rough, or we don't know how to play the game of being rough when we need to be and soft when we need to be. And
Okay.
part of that is having a safe place or being in a safe, around safe
Right,
people. But
right.
some of us
Yes.
have to be softer, even
You
in the way
need to
that you
feel safe in
dress.
doing that.
Yeah, like you
Mhm,
can't be dressing so rough and tough and just your hands them tough and your words are tough and your face
mhm.
tough and you like soften up your and smile and all of these things are all encompassing. But go ahead, Michael. 'Cause I know you're in a rush. You're at
Yeah,
Walmart, so
I
go
want to
ahead.
say to all the ladies that's in there looking for a man, and for the ex-wives or whatever that have been divorced, that have been married, you need to find that spot again where you were married at one time. Some people have been married twice. Some people have been married 3 times. Some people have been married. You have that quality, ladies, because somebody at one time married you. Somehow through the divorce or whatever you went through made you hard. You need to get back to that soft spot where that man who did marry you, right? That legally married you, you have that energy, you have that aura in you, but somehow you let that dirt cover that. And this is what a lot of our sisters are. They are ex-wives or whatever, and they bitter because whatever happened to them. But at one time, that man who married you, the first one or the second one, they saw something in you to be married to you. So for the ladies who have not been married and want to be married, you got to find that soft spot, like Urban Garden was talking about, is to find that spot where it's something about you made those men married. You might divorce, it might didn't last, but at one time in your life, it was an energy that that person decided to marry you legally and have children with you. It might didn't last, like Gina said, it might didn't last, but you had that fire at one time where I don't know. He saw something in you to marry you. Bougie been married. Urban Grant been married. I don't know. Gina's still married. I believe she said. There's a lot
Yeah.
of women
I
here are ex-wives, but there was something in you at one time that a man saw in you to marry you legally. I'm not talking about that shacking up stuff and fake marriage. I'm talking about legally go down and get married. I don't care if it was at the Justice of Peace or a $15,000 wedding. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So a man did see that in you. You know what I mean? Urban Grimes, how she comes off, but she was married. Somebody seen something in her to legally marry. Bougie, somebody saw something to marry you. Gina, and there's women in the chat. I can't see the chat, but there's women that's been
Yeah.
married and divorced. So there was something in these ladies who are complaining now. There was something in you. You got to find that person again. You have to find her.
Well,
You're
I'm
right.
not
And be
complaining.
authentic.
I'm
I
not
think people
looking.
have to be authentically themselves. Don't be what you think someone needs. Be you.
Yeah, you have
Because
to
you
be.
don't have to
Yeah.
be nothing else other than yourself for
Hmm.
somebody to fall for you. Trust me.
You
Y'all
better
be
off
seeing
doing
these
that.
women and y'all be like, how she got a man and I?
It's
Because
just
she just being her.
Yeah.
And that man is just looking for that. He ain't got to find out who she is. She's being who she is.
There you
Be
go.
Hmm. Right,
authentically
right, right.
yourself. Don't try to be
Yeah,
what you see all these other people out here doing
yeah.
to get people.
Mhm.
Be
Yeah, but I'm
you.
yeah.
not looking. I'm not on the market. I'm not
No,
looking. I'm good.
like,
I'm
You
good.
like I'm good.
my
Hmm.
wife, but she was a firecracker. She knew exactly what she wanted. She didn't cut no corners. She wasn't dilly dally twirling her hair. She got long hair. She wasn't twirling. She knew exactly what she wanted at a young age. There's women out here that knows right off the rip what they want in life. They're not BSing. If
Yeah.
you can't do what she want, you got to go. She's not even entertaining you. You know what I
That's
mean?
true. Exactly.
You
You
don't.
got to be willing
You
to leave.
And the reality is, I'm telling y'all, you don't have to be 25 years old, 35 years old, 45 years old to know, especially women, to know what they want. Women know what they want. I think at 17, 16, they know exactly what they want. Now, the pool might be thin out there. The fishing ground might not be that great, but I believe young ladies know exactly what they want. They don't want their father that left their mama. They seen their mama hurt, so they know. They know exactly what, but this is what we got to teach our daughters and our kids. Know exactly what you want. Do not be nobody's hump bag. Know exactly what you want. Tell the person what you want, and that's it. If he don't like it, that's the one to run from. Say what you got to say, like Gina said. Say what you say. Be you.
I also want to go back on your point where men talk to their wives and then the wives are like making them feel weak. This is the whole point. You want a safe place. And if you're not being that safe place for him and he's not being it for you, then you need to fix. If you're already married, you need to fix that first of all. If you're dating, that needs to be discussed, because that's like, I remember something happened in my life. And it's like, yo, it just lingers. Yeah. That should be a safe place for you to talk, and I shouldn't have to hear that being used as a joke or a mockery in front of other people. Like don't be doing none of that. And don't do that.
You see what happened to Will Smith?
Yeah.
He felt he had to go do something because his wife made it look, and he went to do something because he made him look weak.
No, that was a foolish move on him, because he's a grown-ass man and he should have known better than that.
I think she makes him weak in his personal life.
No. How did that make him look weak?
He felt he looked weak. He felt that he needed to protect her in some way, but I don't.
Wow, what was happening
to her? It still was a dumb thing, but trust me, we all done something stupid like that. So I didn't even judge that whole situation. I'm sure he felt horrible afterwards, but because it was unnecessary
in that moment, because the joke to me was soft. The joke was soft. The joke was so mild. It wasn't even hot sauce. It wasn't even on the radar. So I don't
like the joke. For me, I think I would have took it slight to that joke. I didn't like it.
I think he was felt behind the scenes in other things. And I think him and Chris Rock, I think he felt that Chris Rock should have known, keep our name out your mouth, period. Like, I think there was a talk.
He did, because he was laughing at first.
He did.
I don't think he felt any slight.
Comedian. I know that they know that comedians is gonna crack jokes on people in the front row.
They are. But they take it too far sometimes.
And you know that. But you already know that. You already know that.
Confronted Chris Rock previously and said that he know, like, if they had an understanding, don't put my name in your mouth, period. So he was cussing, and someone recorded him privately and released it, saying like he knows he shouldn't, because it's like he told Chris from before, don't have us in your mouth, period.
But you know what? Anybody can have you in their mouth.
Exactly. You can't control my mouth.
Exactly. You don't have no reason to put your hand on nobody. They can have you all in their mouth all they want to.
You're 100% right. And I'm saying, when grown men who has wives, what we hear, and I know y'all heard this, so don't act like you never heard this. He don't control his household, because you put our business out there. His wife put her business out there, their family life business out there on her little show. And what he did to Chris Rock, what he did to Chris Rock is probably what he wanted to do with his wife. So, but that's what I say. But he needed to have checked his wife a while.
And that side chick
hold up. He needed. Hold up. You're gonna shake your hand, but this is the problem, because you're not a man.
Hi, I'm not talking to you. No,
she's saying hi to somebody without disturbing you.
But I'm saying, you, when men watch that was the point where his wife made him look like a fool on that red door shit she got, whatever that thing is. She put minutes out there. She done flunked that little boy out there. She done messed with. If you're gonna do your dirt behind the scenes. Any average one, you ain't gotta be rich. You could be you, bougie. If you're gonna do your dirt across state lines or some shit. Don't have it where it's gonna come back and bite me in my face. He's a public figure, and you're running around here acting like a fool, but he's mad with you because he's in love with you, but at the same time, he don't want to check her. He should have checked her behind them closed doors, say, I don't mind you messing with them boys, or what y'all call it, entanglement now?
Yeah, entanglement?
Whatever they call it now, entanglement, whatever. But that should have been...
I call it child molestation, because he was in your home as your son's friend, and that was, but anyways.
But going
what I'm saying, that he didn't know. They knew what the thing was. It's just the public didn't know. They've been doing this for years. They've had an open marriage. I've known them to have an open marriage forever.
But see,
But
you
Will's chicks never went public.
Tina,
He
but
has
you
one
That's
that
the
never go
only
public.
thing. That's the only thing. But that don't mean, you know, he's all upset because hers got outed. They
okay.
both doing it.
I think it brought shame. It brings shame though. It does
It
bring
brings
shame
to a
I
man
don't
because
think it did.
because it's now public. Her coochie's in everyone's mouth and everyone's
yeah.
I
So
don't think they care as much as people think they do.
okay,
Yeah,
all right. But,
but
right,
yeah, but
he
at
almost
the end of the day, it's all just entertainment. They
yeah
are
True.
entertainers, and
because
that
Guess
was
what it did? Guess what it
entertainment.
did?
Exactly,
It made their
Boozy.
name
Yeah,
circulate.
Yeah, you're
yeah.
right.
They
They
made
keep
more
them
money from the fact that
relevant.
her
All that
scandal
did
got
was
out
to keep
there
them
than if
relevant.
it didn't.
That was
Listen, they don't care as
entertainment
much as
to
people
keep
think.
them
but
relevant. That's
but he
all. They
realized
couldn't be stunts.
he slapped the right guy because the other guy he probably be 6 feet under by this time. But
No, I think
he slapped the right.
anybody at the Oscars would have controlled themselves, but had it been a comedy show, Chris Rock would have thumped him in his mouth. I can assure you. Chris Rock would have hit it back.
You saw what happened to David Chappelle? That boy went back with a broken arm and beat up.
Stomp, stomp. Let
Stomp
me clap my hands. Yep, stomp, stomp.
You
Because
know,
he was at the Oscars, he composed himself because he knew his audience. But had it been somewhere else, that
Right.
one it would have been too. He would have thumped him down.
you saw what happened to David Chappelle? That guy's arm was broken in half.
Correct.
Well, let's get back to
Correct.
our topic.
Okay, yeah, going back.
Yeah,
real
that
quick.
was funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to
Women
So why I come up here?
to listen
okay.
to their men. Women need to listen to their man. If your man comes to you and want to express something to you, please listen to him. Don't shut him down. Don't roll your eyes, because he made it to a point where he wanted to tell the woman he's with. He could have went to his homeboys or a barbershop and talked that crap there, but he came home to talk to y'all girls, and that's what you need to do. Don't make them feel bad. That's
Yeah.
all.
True.
That's true. No, that's good advice. That's good advice.
Yeah, so why I said about the submissive part, a lot of I've been on the YouTube street, and a lot of I value whatever they said on these podcasts, and a lot of problem the black men claim they having is with black women not being submissive. I've been Kevin Samuel, I've just been on the YouTube street and hear them talk on a lot of late night shows and stuff. They're saying that's why they're going to other races, other country. This guy, he said he'd rather go overseas and get a woman and bring here because the BW not being submissive. So that's why I did put that statement in there.
No, that's a good point. But the same thing you said, we don't even know what that means.
Right.
Michael had to
To
kind of
me, that
explain
means different
what
than what
they
Michael
mean.
Farmer
Yeah.
explained.
To me, I'm
Because
seeing
I
that different
take
too.
that submission to mean that she's just basically when you're
That
going
sound like-
overseas,
That sounds
those
like
type of women
self-control to me.
don't have exactly. They don't
Have
say
any-
nothing. They're
Right.
completely
That you looking for
controlled.
somebody to control.
Mhm.
Yep.
So we need to
Just
understand
think
what
about this.
submission
If they
means.
go overseas to get them and they bring them over here, they've now secluded them from their family. They
Correct.
have no friends.
Right.
All they have is that person.
Yep.
That's control. That's not
Mhm.
submission.
Right.
That's not submission. You can have them if that's what you're looking for, because you probably ain't gonna find that in the black
Let them
woman.
knock themselves
Hey,
out.
I ain't gonna
You
lie.
ain't gonna take me away from my friends and my family. No,
always
you're not.
I always wanted myself. I ain't gonna lie. You right on the hit it right on there, because I always looking for me an Alabama, Georgia girl, but never found one. I had to find a well, American. But she grew up in America, but her culture, her mother kept the Caribbean culture. You know what I'm saying? But
Correct,
at the same time, she's a fire rock. She's a firecracker. Trust what I tell you. But she know how to handle herself. You know what I mean? What you're talking about, like you said, control that stuff. If I went over to the Philippines or somewhere and picked something up and brung it over, like you said, I'm separating her from her family. Yeah, but there's some cultures where both of your parents can be from another, but you've been Americanized, but the culture is still there.
Yeah.
She's talking about people thinking she's not kissing my feet, she's not groveling, but she know how to lead. And even though she's younger than me, she do as a woman, when she's a grown woman at this point, she knows how to let man lead, and she know how to lead.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have to. That's another topic, because it's exactly like I hear your point, Micro, and I'm receiving it, but women don't understand what this what they
this
mean
word
when man says
means.
submission,
Yeah.
because to me it sounds like domineering, and as Gina said, like controlling,
No.
but that's not what you guys
The
really
thing
mean.
is, but the thing is, it's just like anything. It's the meaning is going to be based on the person's perception of the
Yeah.
meaning.
Correct.
So a person who's going overseas to get a wife because they don't think the the
The women
American
in
women
American women,
are
yeah.
submissive. They're
Right.
looking to control.
Control somebody,
Exactly.
yeah.
Their thought of submission means that you don't have a voice.
Right.
Exactly.
You
Right.
literally are, I control everything.
Right.
Then you have people who look at submission as, like Michael said, compromising in a
Right.
relationship,
Right.
allowing a man to be the leader. And even if you don't agree with something that he's doing, you don't have those disagreements in public.
In
Those
Correct.
public.
are
Right.
disagreements that
Right.
you have in private, that you're
Right.
like, when you mention XYZ, I actually think we should be doing XYZ. So
Right.
those, you don't say it in public, because now
Being combative in public.
Belittling him.
you're
You're
demeaning
belittling,
him. Yes,
belittling
you're
him,
kind of
his
demeaning him
leadership.
in
Yeah.
public. So
Hmm.
I to me, that's more what submission is. It's just, knowing how to pick your battles. It's just like with your
Yes.
children.
Correct.
Yeah.
You don't, if you
Hmm.
combat everything you feel like your child shouldn't be doing, or doing wrong, or not doing the way you wanted them to do it, you're going to exhaust yourself.
Yep.
Let them fold them clothes their way. They got to wear them.
Yeah.
Why argue with them about how they doing it? Let them clean the kitchen their way.
Yep.
As long as it's clean, let them do it. You would do it differently, but let them do it the way they're doing
You're
it, just
right.
as long
You're
as it's
right.
getting
You
clean.
hear that, Urban? You heard that, Urban?
I'm
If they
hearing
want to wash
Michael.
their
What you
butt
trying
a
to do?
certain
Throw
way,
shade?
that's they can wash their butt a certain way. They don't have to wash their butt the way you want them to wash their butt.
You know what, Michael says, see, so. But Gina, even what Gina's saying is true. But I find a lot of women are not even doing what Gina's saying, which is very logical. It's very,
Yeah.
correct. But
Yeah.
even that, people are not doing that. Like addressing
True.
them in public, bringing up things in public, bopping their head and getting all like, the body language is a little like,
Mhm.
men don't like that. And a lot
Mm-mm.
of people I'm seeing, they're doing that. Even
Women
I've seen
don't like it either. Don't
no,
address me in public about something you might not like. You deal with me in private,
yeah,
because
Hmm.
if you deal with it in public, now I feel attacked. I feel chastised, and now I have to get on the defense.
correct.
So
And I
don't do
think
that.
women do it more than men. Sorry, I think women do it more than men because I've seen some women and I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, are you
Yeah.
crazy? Like, and she's carrying on.
Yep.
I'm like, do that in the car when you're driving off
Yes.
privately, not in front of
Yes.
others. No, I'm feeling uncomfortable because I'm like, awkward. And
Exactly.
so some women aren't doing that, and we need
I agree.
and even there's one argument that happened with a couple, and I told her to keep quiet because he was discussing something with his baby mama, and they were all there in front of me. And I said to her, because at the time she didn't have any kids with him, even if you did, that's him and her child. Don't be blappity blappity blap, because you don't know the history. You know the man you met now. The man she had abandoned her, and so you shut your mouth and stand there. Don't be. She was talking too. I said, "You're talking too damn much, and it's not your damn
Yeah.
child." And she's like,
Yeah.
I said, "Shut up!" I'm like, "Shut up," because I could see that it's gonna get physical. She's
That's
talking
good
to her
advice.
baby daddy. You're his wife.
good
advice.
She's not even addressing you. Shut your mouth
Right.
and just stand there
Yeah.
and smile and nod. And when you're
Yep.
finished, because that's between
know-
him and her.
Right.
Yeah.
And she
You
didn't
know what
like
I call
certain
that?
things.
I say know your place. Everybody
No,
need to know their
and
place.
people don't know their
Family
place.
members too. Don't forget them family members and sisters and brothers trying to tell you how to raise your kid. That's my
Everybody need to know
don't
their
need to
place.
nephew, but they my kids. Don't tell me I'm spoiled.
Exactly. And people don't want to be told that they're out of line, they're not in their lane. And I said to
Right.
her, unless she's addressing you directly, don't get involved.
Yes.
Then she sent
Yes.
her child from
Exactly.
Jamaica to be raised by the father and you. So unless she's addressing you directly about how you're treating her child, there's nothing more for you to discuss with her. She's discussing some past issues, and then he was addressing her mothering skills. Why are you getting involved in that conversation? I had enough sense to go step to the side.
All right, I'm gonna get, since I got three ladies up here on the panel from different sections of life, right? I want to ask you a question. How do y'all feel about a woman who's dealing with a man who has to always go to pick up his kids at the baby mama house or something? What do y'all feel about that? Where she's always in a damn car. She has to go when he go pick up his kids or something like that. What do y'all feel about that?
Say that again. That
Yeah, I was
he's
going
going
to
in
say
the house.
that again too. Say it
When
again.
a woman, like, say I have a baby, like my ex-wife, right? But I ain't have that issue. But when you have an ex-wife, you got kids by your ex-wife, right? You got a new girlfriend or new wife. She's always in the car when you got to go pick up your kids from your ex-wife house or your ex-girlfriend or your baby, the kid's mama's house. Why do some women have to be in the car with him to go get the kids to stir up an argument?
You got to know how to train your dragon.
I'm
Oh Lord, train your dragon. Oh my
You got to
goodness.
know how to train your dragon.
your drag.
It could be it could be twofold. One, it could be she doesn't trust the person,
Yeah.
the
Right.
guy.
Yeah.
Two, it could be that if she's going to stir up drama, she's still feeling some type of inferiorness to the ex. So
Yes.
she must still feel that you have some type of connection with
Some
her
kind
that
of
you don't have
feeling.
with
So
her.
she got to make sure that she's there to make sure nothing don't happen.
Mhm.
But if
Now
she's
I don't
going there
have that
causing trouble,
situation because my
that's not a
husband didn't have
girlfriend.
children.
Get rid of her.
No,
Get
no,
rid
I'm
of
just
that
saying
girlfriend.
because that is like a common thing with men, and men feel that they talk to the new wife or the new girlfriend, they having drama when they go home. So they don't really want to drag her because they caught between the bait.
You know what? I don't see why there's drama, because when you met this person, you knew they had kids and you
Correct.
knew that they were going to have to deal with their kid's mother. You
Mhm.
knew all of that. So for you to be mad because this person has to deal with their children's mother is ridiculous to me. You knew
Ridiculous.
this, but when you got together with this person.
My thing is, first of all, then see, I believe this totally because my oldest brother has 5 different baby mamas, and he tends to choose the same type of woman 5 times. If you, if your ex is a drama person, the ex that has the children,
Hmm.
then as the new woman, you need, if that ain't your thing, you need to run because that's the kind of things that this person
Right,
is gravitating to.
right, right.
There's, even if the relationship ends badly, one thing most couples will agree on is that we are going to co-parent in a civil way for these kids. If
Right.
you can't come to that, there
Right.
is something bigger in the problem. There is just
Like
something bigger.
like they say here, she's insecure sounds like her problem.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Um
insecurity. And
yeah,
to me,
yeah,
I'm sorry, that's unacceptable to me because
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
it is.
exactly if I'm dating somebody, hey, one weedy legend, if I'm dating
And then
somebody and I know they have
mhm,
kids, I better be coming up there with the utmost respect to the baby mama or the ex because I'm new in the picture. And regardless of if I'm there or not, you have kids with this lady and she's always going to be in the
mhm,
picture. So I shouldn't be
Yeah,
coming with no
mhm,
foolery. I should say good evening, good
mhm,
morning, nice to
yeah.
see. I'm not going to be coming with all
And
that
out of
stupidness.
mhm,
respect, if it's serious, then we should all be having a meetup so that she can
mhm.
Hello?
know who's going to be around her child, so
Exactly.
she can
Exactly.
feel comfortable with the
Exactly.
person that's going to be around her child. So
Mhm,
she should, she could get to know you a little bit. You ain't
mhm.
got to be buddies, but
But
get to
exactly,
know
I want to
this
know
is
who's
the
with my
woman that
child.
my
Right,
kids are going to be around,
right,
and
right.
her to know that these are hard lines that I don't want crossed when it comes to my
My
children, or if that's
children,
going to be a problem for me,
exactly.
which she is
Exactly.
absolutely allowed to
Exactly.
have.
Right.
And you to say, well, in my house, this is kind of what I do.
Do right,
So
right,
that
right.
way,
With
if
the
you don't,
kids,
this
I've
is
had
something you don't
exactly.
like.
So she could follow suit with what she's already doing with the kids. Exactly. This is a
I've
role
had
that
that
It's
you
with
just
know
respect.
listen, I've
that you're
been the
gonna take
girlfriend
on.
and I've never been rude. Like, what am I causing argument for? You have this is a lifelong link with this person. I've had friends who've had
But
the
you
man
have
bring a girlfriend to the house.
you have women like that. Like
You do.
they
Most of
know
my
that
friends
this
have
person
asked to
have
meet the
kids
girlfriend.
and think that out of nowhere, just because you with them now, you're gonna somehow just stop talking to this person.
Yeah,
That's
Doesn't make no
very
sense.
immature of you.
Hey Tori,
yeah.
That makes no
that
sense.
makes no sense. And
Well,
this
just
is
think about how many celebrities have remarried while they were going through a divorce. They started dating a person that they married, but the ex feels like that the person that they married interfered with the fact of them rekindling. It wasn't going to rekindle. Don't be
Mhm.
bitter because it was over. I get
Right,
that you weren't ready for it to be over, but it
right,
was.
right, right,
You know,
right.
every time I hear, oh, she was a home wrecker, Gabrielle Union with Dwayne Wade. There's several of them that they Alicia Keys, they may call her a homewrecker. I'm like, look, if the relationship was over, him not dating Alicia or him not dating Gabrielle at that time was not gonna make a difference. It was over.
correct,
It
correct.
didn't matter if they started dating these women 3 months after the divorce, it was going to happen. So the fact that you weren't ready for that to happen, that doesn't mean it wasn't. You got to be ready to accept things and let's just move on, because you're going to have to do it anyway. But sometimes men and women can be that way. Because they're not finished, it can't be finished.
Right.
That's not how it works.
Right.
And
Right. Right.
most times in relationships, when you are at a point, especially in a marriage, when you are at a point where you feel like, do I still want to be in this?
Right.
You're both going to have points in the marriage that you feel that way.
Right.
That person's going to annoy you at a point that you like, I don't know. But the thing is, you work through it, realizing that most times the things that you coming up against is so small that you're just making big because you're upset in the moment.
Right.
And then you work through them and you're fine.
Right.
But when people get to a point of feeling that way, they don't get there at the same time most times. It's very
Right.
rare
Right.
that both people at the same time are like, you know what, we really ain't working out. Usually only one person feels that way,
Right.
when the
Right.
other person's
Right.
like, what the heck
It's
you talking
clueless.
about? We
It's
good.
clueless. Yes. It's clueless. What Triple Threat said
Yes.
this. She
I
says,
think you're
right,
right,
right.
man. I think. Oh, hey, Darcy Donning and Tori's Brain Games. I think the problem, women exactly don't accept that it's over, and the problem
Yeah.
I find is
Men
that
Mm-hmm.
too.
men are
Mm-hmm.
not
Mm-hmm.
clear that they're done with you. Like the breakup is
I
not
think they
clear.
are. I think it don't get no clearer than you ain't sleeping in the same house as me. It don't
No,
get no clearer than that.
no, for you, but for some women, that's not clear enough. They think that he's
I
gonna come back.
know.
They
Put
think
a
he's
dang
gonna
on
come
net in
back,
my
and
car.
especially if the man's coming back and occasionally sleeping with you, then it causes that gray area. But
Oh
he's not coming
yes.
back. So
Mm-hmm.
they
Yes.
blame the woman, thinking that it's she. No, the man
Now
was
that's a
done.
no
He
no.
was done.
Yeah.
But he
Yeah.
was still dibble dabbling
Now
here and
that's
occasionally.
Yeah.
different.
That
Yeah,
That's
is different.
different.
Yeah, that
men
is
don't just flick
different.
you
Don't.
off. They still dibble dabble, and
Well, that's because men only think there. Women are emotional. Men, that part is that's just
Yeah,
what
that's
they
just
call it,
reflex. A reflex.
um
an exchange. This is just an
the
exchange between
change.
two
Yeah.
people.
So the
You
baby
know, they're
mama or the
familiar.
ex-wife
That's
is
a
still sleeping
familiar
with
place that he
the
would keep
man.
going to. Long as he can. It's a familiar place.
Hell,
But
exactly.
Hmm.
And so
read
women think because he's
what
still
Triple
sleeping
Threat
with me,
says.
there's hope. There's no hope. He was done. Like he was gone. He checked out a long time ago. So him sleeping with you
Mm-hmm.
is not mean that he's gonna rekindle anything. So then
Right,
they
right, right.
resent the
Far as
woman.
like a serious relationship. Yeah.
Right. Then they resent the new woman because, like, what does she have that I don't? We already have all
Right.
this history and all
It's
this.
not about
Why are you
Mm-hmm.
that.
gonna go start something
No.
new with her? And then
Mm-hmm.
she gets
It's
angry.
not about that.
Instead of me looking inward and saying, you know what? It was over. Or
Mm-hmm.
he wanted to be over, and I have to let go and move on. Like he's
Mm-hmm.
not coming back, and I need to move on with my life. Instead of harboring it and staying stuck, we keep ourselves stuck by not letting
Mm-hmm.
go. Even if he comes
Yeah.
back, do you want him back? Are you the same person that he left? No. You've changed. Like you don't want it back, but you think you
Mhm.
do because you think,
Think
what
you
coulda,
do.
shoulda.
You
You
think it
remember
because
what
you're
it used to
sleeping with him
be,
that you
and
think
you
you
want
do.
it to be that.
And it's
Mhm.
never going
Mm-hmm.
to be that. Even if he does come, it will never go back to that.
Mhm.
Let it go.
Mm-hmm.
Let him go and be happy. You be happy. You be civil. And
Mm-hmm.
even if she was a homewrecker, even if she was a homewrecker, you reap what you sow. I've seen it
Mhm.
too many
That.
times. Let me assure
That.
you, she's gonna get
You'll
hers.
see your karma.
So just wash your hands, move
Mm-hmm.
on, be happy. They're gonna get theirs because
Yep.
if she did interfere with someone's relationship and slide in there, she's gonna get hers. And the way you get
Yep.
them is the way you lose them.
That part.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen
What did
it too
Triple
many
say,
times.
Bougie?
Triple Threat said, right, right. I'm buddies with my ex's exes. We all went on vacation together. I'm the glue that holds everyone together because I'm the peaceful
You're the
one.
peaceful one.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Yeah, you're not in it anymore, so you're not harboring. Exactly. Like just let it go. And when
Yeah.
you let it
And
go,
even
you're
if y'all
opening up
ain't going
yourself to
vacation
new.
together, y'all still should be cordial. You ain't got to be. It ain't got to be one big happy
No, you
family, but
Hey,
don't. You
African
you
don't.
still
dreaming.
need to be cordial.
And
Yeah,
then
you
you
have to
got
be
to
cordial.
realize, like I'll give you an example with me. I have a oh my goodness, my memory, a special needs daughter.
Mhm.
So that's like still, a come and see, to come to see her. But like how you just said, no, we all not going to be one big happy family because she's an adult. So there's no need for us to come together. Like how you said, you need to know what to
Yeah.
do, da da da, this and that. No, no, no. That's why I said know your place. Everybody need to know their place. It's not little kids. We don't have little kids, so there's no need for everybody to be meshing together. Nothing like that. It's not that kind of situation. So everybody should know their place.
Yep.
Exactly. Know your place. Exactly. For your case, you have an older child. Exactly. We don't need to be
Right.
having kumbaya. We don't need to be co-parent. There's
No.
no co-parenting involved. So you can like
No.
see you later, have a nice life,
Yes.
and that's that. But even like somebody, an ex's mother passed away, and we all went to the funeral. People were like, "Why are you going to the funeral?" I didn't hate the mother. Like I don't hate the
Yeah.
person either. Like what's the
Yeah.
problem? So we
Yeah.
went there respectfully. We, paid our respects, said hi to everybody. People were actually happy to see us, but people were like, "Oh, you can't go." Why not? That's water under the bridge. Some people
Mm-hmm.
I will not do that because we ain't good. We ain't good. Period. But it's water under the bridge. I don't need to
Mm-hmm.
be pay my respects, and I left. I didn't go to their house. I went to the funeral home. I didn't go.
Yes.
Hey Hudson. I didn't do none of
I
that.
guess
Shayla.
it's according to how you do, because if my ex passed, I wouldn't go. He's remarried. To me, that's not for me. It's not for me to be there.
And
I,
that's okay.
But your daughter
yeah,
your children would be there, obviously.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They
And
would be
that's
there most
okay.
definitely, but I wouldn't go. I wouldn't go.
And
And
that's okay.
there's like you see, people don't know their place because there's some people have done that. The exes, I don't know. It's uncomfortable and it's
There's some things you
uncomfortable.
gotta know. Like you have to know your place, because you gotta think that like they said, it would make it odd. You know what I'm saying? It just make
Mhm.
everybody uncomfortable with what's going on. But you
Mm-hmm.
might have families like TNT, where everybody get along and they can go on vacation. You just got
Yeah.
to know your
There's people like that.
situation. You
Yeah.
And
got to
that's
know
okay
your
too.
situation.
Yeah.
As long as it's not toxic. If anything you're doing,
Right?
you're not bringing
Exactly.
toxicity into your
Exactly.
life, it's fine.
Exactly.
You can be civil, you can get
Exactly.
along because maybe you want the kids to be able to spend time all together. If there's multiple baby moms and multiple, you want all the kids to have a time together, not okay, that's your weekend. It's kind of like more camaraderie and you stay in your lane. Like, you're one of the many and all the kids can play together and you stay in your lane. You're not
Right.
involved in the man's
Right.
life and decision making. All you care about is raising your common children, and that's the way it goes. Just don't have any
You got
toxicity.
some.
Don't
You got
add
some new
drama to the
people came in.
situation either. And if you have nothing good to say, don't say nothing at all. It's quite simple. But everybody wants to.
Yeah.
He's mine. I had him first. Oh, he would be longer. I don't
Oh,
like.
come
Why you
on.
fighting? He ain't fighting
No,
over you. He
no.
ain't fighting over you. There's only
That
two people
part.
fighting,
That part.
and it's the woman.
You
And he
got new
getting off.
people
He's sneaking
came
off
in.
scot free. It's like no, I'm not that. I'm not that chick. It's like you can have him. Bye. Here's his badge.
Right.
Go ahead, take him. Take him off
That's
my hands.
wishes.
Yeah, best wishes. All the best to you. My condolences ahead
Yeah.
of time because this is gonna go left. This gone left, and then you're
Okay.
fighting me. You're fighting me for this person who's proven shown us his colors, and you fighting me for this person and
Right.
going through the dates and times and when he was here and there. Who cares? He lied.
Right.
He got caught. He been lying. It doesn't matter who was here first, who was the second, and who was the main. All that doesn't even matter. The man's a
Mm.
liar, and you're still with the man. And you go back and look at these people,
Enjoy.
and you should have left when you had the chance. But they
Yep.
don't love themselves enough, or they don't have that
Or they
self
don't think,
worth
yes, they don't see their self worthy. Yep.
to do better, or I put in all this time already, and I don't know what the
Yep.
reason is, but don't get mad when you stay, and it's still the same. Don't get mad at these. Don't get mad.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You dressed your bed, and you lay in it. That's the way I see
Yeah.
it. But
Urban, you
I'm
got
gonna
some
I'm
new
gonna wrap
people
it up
that
because
came
again I
in.
have to run. But
Yeah.
I have a student here, as if you guys missed it again because of some problems with other people's accommodations, and they weren't happy at other places. So I have a boy this time, so I'm gonna just, you know, make him have a good time. It's unfortunate. I wasn't on the list, but I opened up the door because I don't want anyone to have a bad experience. You are away from your family and your mother and your father,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
get back to be doing it. I'm not doing it for nothing back in return. I'm doing it willingly, and I don't want someone's child to be here and having a bad experience. I don't think you would want that if that was your kid. So if I can do better than what the person did, I'm going to try. No, the girls have gone back. They had a
No,
great
yeah,
time.
girls are gone.
They left, and I was not down for the August roster, but there's been two incidences that have come up. The first one was resolved. This one, they relocated them, so I have to last night open the doors, um, and so I'm taking him to the family barbecue. Poor child.
That's going to
and,
be fun.
and he going to a
Mhm.
Pentecostal church tomorrow. So poor child again
And
is
those are always fun. They long, but they fun.
gonna be like, what?
You
What's
ain't
going
gonna
on?
fall asleep for sure, because they
No,
keep
he's
it
gonna be,
crunk in
and if he does, he'll be
Pentecostal.
like, hallelujah.
Listen,
Someone's gonna be
they gonna
hallelujah.
move for praise. They don't play in Pentecostal church.
And he gonna have to drop some seeds. He knows he's gonna have to drop some seeds and his lettuce bed and stuff. But yeah. So I'm gonna be busy again. But God knows. And I think he talked to his mother, so she's happier here. I wasn't sure because again,
Yeah,
it's me alone. It's only me. I would think that
yeah,
somebody with two people would be better, but no. Some people. Let me just end off with this. Some people are not very welcoming. I guess it
yeah.
doesn't matter if it's a relationship or just you. You're very hard. You're very rough. You're just mean. Like,
hmm
be
Mhm.
friendly. Talk.
And kids feel it. They can
They
feel
Yeah.
that.
feel it,
Mhm.
and they know that you
Mhm.
don't want them there. They know that you're not interested,
Yes,
and it's like that
yes,
feeling. I felt horrible. I'm like, they know.
yeah.
Like, be friendly.
They
You don't
do.
have to be there, but show interest in something and ask them what their life is like, and you're opening up your life. Like no one should be mean. Anyone on the
Yeah,
line, like, let's be friendly, be kind, be a good host. Let people feel
yeah.
welcome. Let people feel appreciated. Like, don't do that. I'm very disappointed in what happened. So they're over here at my place, and I'll just do
Who
the best
came
that
in,
I can.
Bougie? Who you waving at?
African dreaming.
Yeah, I forget.
African
Yeah, he
dreaming.
played
Hey,
that. But
One
yeah,
one Weedle, one Weedle legend.
he
A
don't
couple of
never
people
sleep.
came in.
I don't
yeah.
know when he sleeps.
But
He be at
thank you,
everybody's
ladies.
live.
Thank
Thank
you, ladies, for
you.
coming up. I appreciate it. Next week we're going to go back to more gardening. I like the live with you and Starduster and what's going on. I'm trying to get myself prepared. I have some topics to discuss that we were going to discuss, but we'll do it like water and
Oh yeah,
water
we're gonna try to,
purification and
Carol, you talking about on Thursday. Yeah, we're gonna try
yeah,
to cover a little bit of all of that on Thursday.
yeah. And I'll be
I,
talking
I
about
actually
some
really
other
want to
stuff.
do water next. We were going to do a bug out bag, but I need to talk to Star. I do want to do water because this water thing that's going on with people that's right here in the U.S. that don't have
Mhm.
water or rationing water. I didn't
Yes.
know. I forget what area that is right here in the U.S. They do not have water.
I
That
don't know
that
where they don't have it, but I know Texas is rationing. I know they still, I don't think
And
Michigan
they're
ever got
talking
their water
about because
issue
the
together.
system is old. Like y'all didn't already know the system was old.
Yeah,
That's
I know
what I've been
Michigan was
talking
messed
about for
up
the
because of
last few
that.
weeks. That the system is old
So
and there's toxins in our water. Like, I'm talking
they
about it more of a
do that. How old the system
social.
was, though? How old the system was that you're just finding out the system is old?
No,
Come
not
on
They
just
now.
always
finding out.
knew.
They always
And
knew.
that's why I tell people who fly, there's a lot of people who've been flying during these last couple years. And when they lifted the mask mandates and stuff, they just on these flights without masks. And they're like, well, they got the filters and these millionaires who own the planes. Do you really think they putting their money into that? They not putting it. I know
No,
people who work for Boeing and stuff like that. And they're like, if you knew, you wouldn't be on these planes.
no,
So quit assuming that the people who are supposed to make sure these things are
are doing
good
it.
for us
They're
are
not.
doing it. They all about
Mhm.
the bottom dollar. They not
Yeah.
about making sure we getting quality.
No.
no.
And that,
So
so I'm talking
we
about it
gotta
through a
step
socio-economic
up our
level.
water game.
Yeah, Bougie and SARS going through the actual prepping. I'm just
Yes.
talking about topics and, like, things that
Yeah.
are affecting us, because
Right.
that's not new. And then at the same time, they want you to stop collecting rainwater. Hmm.
Control.
Hmm.
Now all of that is control. You
So
you
we have
you,
to be
you
in the
control
mindset
the
that
food, you control the
I don't
people.
care about the laws. If you're gonna
I
put me to
don't care
jail for
about
getting
them either.
rainwater, so be it. I'm gonna do. That's why
Okay.
I don't have the rights to have chickens in my zone, in my city,
Mhm.
but I'm getting them because I don't care. Because you ain't gonna have me
Yeah.
starving in the streets and having no water. Because I know where
Oh,
you're going.
that part. That
We
part.
know where they're going. So you have to make up your mind what you're gonna do
Mm-hmm.
and move
Mm-hmm.
quietly. I ain't telling everybody what
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing,
That's right. Move
and
in
move
silence.
discreetly, and don't have these big old blue rain barrels on your lawn. You have the dark colored one that you can hide behind lattices and fences. You be discreet, and you have
Mm-hmm.
catch your rainwater. These,
Mm-hmm.
like what I see coming in the next 5 years, it's not pretty, guys.
Mm-mm.
They want us on our
Mm.
knees. They want us to submit. They want us to
Right.
comply. That's what they
Right.
want. And when
You
people
know
are
what
hungry
I
and
be
thirsty,
saying? I refuse to be a generational slave. Come on
yep,
now. Yeah, mm-mm.
yep. And we're going to talk about that. So, we're going to go back to that. Did you all see the 3 people got struck? I didn't see it. I saw it, but I'm going to go check the article. I saw it on
I
my
didn't hear
feed this
about that.
morning. They got hit by lightning at Washington and they died. Some tourists, I believe. So this is
Mm.
crazy. This is crazy. But I really want to. We need to talk about water, guys, and also with the Bougie
Mm-hmm.
and Star, purifying
Yeah.
your water. The water is
Mm-hmm.
not being purified the way you think it is. Putting some little
Mm-hmm.
Clorox bleach in the water at the sewage plant is not cleaning out the actual sewage. And I
Mm-hmm.
put a link on my other lives on a documentary. It's called Sludge or Sludged. I'll put it on this video after. You need to watch it, guys. This is
Mm-hmm.
happening in first world nations, not
Mm-hmm.
in some remote hut. This is coming in U.S. and Canada. So you
Yeah.
better get your
Mm-hmm.
water purified. Have your water
Yes.
Most
stashed
things
with
that
bottled water.
people turn their nose up to, that they hear about that's happening, it's happening worse in the U.S.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Slave trafficking, fi- uh,
sex
um,
trafficking. Yeah,
sex trafficking, organ kidnapping people to harvest
Mm.
yeah,
organs.
yeah,
More
yeah,
prevalent where you lay your head, not
Right.
yeah,
in these countries that you think, oh, that's happening. Oh, no,
Over there.
honey,
But
no,
that's the
honey.
mentality of a lot of people. If they don't see it, it's not happening here.
Yep,
It's happening
yep.
here. They just
Oh
ain't
yeah,
telling you about it.
yeah.
yes,
And then September,
yes.
well, 10th and 11th, 9/11, funny enough. That's what I have my training book to get my weapon license. So I'll be getting
Mm-hmm.
that September.
Mm-hmm.
And
I need to get on that.
yeah, I'm gonna get on that. Is GT in here? Okay, hey
Yeah.
GT.
Hey,
And
Hey,
I'm
GT.
gonna be
GT.
getting a pellet one. Um because I think I would look at the prices of ammunition and even the triple threat talking about the dummy ones for practicing, and they ain't cheap. I'm like, this is pricey. So I'm gonna save my good stuff for when I need it. And if it's like a
Yeah,
raccoon or
Yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that, I'll use the pellet gun, and or a squirrel, I'll use that for that, because I can't be wasting these good ammo on these rats with tails. It's too
yeah.
expensive. I was like, this is
That's
for you can
exactly
pack a
what they
pot.
are.
This is expensive. So get prepared. We're all getting prepared. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
prepared. This is why I'm so open about it, because I'm not ashamed. I'm getting prepared, and I'm working
Yeah.
on things
Well,
as
we
I
all
go.
was there one time. We all was
Yeah,
there
so
one
I'm
time.
sharing my
So.
journey with you all. So those of you who are
Mm-hmm.
not can just join along. But I'm getting the
Mm-hmm.
security set up first, the safety, my license. I'm encouraging my sisters to get theirs as well, so that we all are on
Yep.
the same
Yep.
page.
Everybody could
So
be
that if
able to
we're all
defend.
together and
Yep.
bunking in together,
Mm-hmm.
they know how to handle, and I'm
Yep.
going to be learning how to use a
Mm-hmm.
crossbow. I'm going to be learning how to do fishing, so I can at least feed, because it's going to be coming down to who can feed themselves. You can steal
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
my
Mm-hmm.
garden, you can steal my stuff. As long as I got seeds and I have my skills, I can
you
move.
can
Mm-hmm.
still grow
Yep.
some
I can
more.
Yep.
still
Yep.
survive. So yes,
Mm-hmm.
I have my stuff I'm canning. Yes, I have my dried goods. I have my yes, yes, yes. But when it comes down to it, if I have to leave and flee, especially in
Mm-hmm.
a cold climate, I'm in like,
Mm-hmm.
how did the First Nation survive way back with,
Right. Right.
so I'm trying to learn those old. We don't need
Old
license in
ways.
Tennessee. Oh yeah, then go right ahead. And I'm gonna get my training so I can feel more. I don't want to aim and hit. hit the wrong things. I'm very concerned about that. So I want to
Mhm.
learn properly. But yeah, and then I'm getting the chickens, as you guys know. I'm just waiting to get that raccoon and that stuff secured because I don't
Yeah.
want to come in. But yeah, hell yeah, Urban, get that CCP. What does CCP mean?
Probably
Concealed
meant to put
carry
W.
Oh, okay. We don't call. Yeah,
permission.
sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm getting that. I'm doing the reason why it's 2 days. The first day is unregulated, which is the rifles and the hunting stuff. The second day is is hand ones. So I'll
Mm.
be licensed for both. Then I can go back and do the hunting course to learn how to hunt and get my hunting license so I can
Very
do big
nice.
game like hands. So
Okay.
it's all a progression, but that's I'll be doing the deer like hands in the dirt or the moose or whatever we have over here. I'll be but so at least I can survive and take care of myself. Tennessee,
Mhm.
yeah, you have to things are gonna get ugly, guys. And things have already been ugly. Aren't people stealing gas in people's cars and people were following people home with
even if it's not
groceries?
going to get ugly, be ready so you
Be
don't have to
ready.
get ready.
That's
Be
right.
ready, not getting
That's
ready.
right.
Exactly.
That's
Be
right.
ready. And I
Stay
know
ready.
she has a
Stay
video on
ready.
hers and
Yep. Stay
her
ready.
her concealed carry the strap. Like just watch people's videos, support them, and see what's going on. Get ready, guys. Get ready. There are things that I haven't
Hmm.
been comfortable with, but guess what? My comfort
You
is
got to get
irrelevant. You
comfortable.
gotta
Yeah.
get ready
That's
so
what
that
Triple
you're
Threat
not.
told me. She did a video where she said one in the chamber, and I said, well, that I'm not there yet. She said, well, you got to
Yeah.
get comfortable with being there.
Yeah, I won't be there
Hmm.
yet. I'll just have one on the carry, but one in the chamber. Yeah, I talked about that with people that they go. It depends what the situation is. Like you have to have situational awareness, and you have to be comfortable with one in that one. If
Hmm.
you're not, then don't
Hmm.
do it because
Hmm.
it's a responsibility. You have to
Yeah, it
be
is.
practice safety. So we're going to
Hmm.
be talking about a whole bunch of stuff, guys. Not always gardening, but preparedness. But next week we need to talk about water and about what's in our tap water. I'm talking about
Yeah.
what's in the tap water. You know,
Hmm.
get if you don't have a purification system, I'm looking for one myself. Boiling your water is not enough. We're Caribbean, we boil our water, but there are things in the water that cannot be boiled out. So we have to elevate our water filtration system,
Hmm.
catching rainwater, just water, because your body cannot survive without water. And correct me if I'm wrong, Bougie. I think they say 3 days, but really it's not.
Hmm.
It's one day because by the third day your organs are already shutting down. So it's not 3 days. It's like 24 hours. So you have to be able to have water. Food, you can survive with eating less food. We have enough fat in our bodies to sustain us with one meal a day, but not water. So we need to get our water
And
game
there's so much different
up.
things we use water for.
Hygiene,
Yep. Hmm.
food,
Cooking,
drinking, cooking.
Hmm.
preparation.
Yep,
Hmm.
so it's very important. And if you don't have clean water, it can spread more diseases. So
Yep.
that's a
Yep.
very important topic. We need to take this. Some people are
Hmm.
not taking this thing seriously. Whenever water's on sale, buy some. Bottled water's
Hmm.
not ideal, but it's better than not having. You can use that to
Hmm.
wash your face and to, whatever you got to do. And if you
Hey,
have
Yep.
young
better
children,
to have that when ain't nothing coming out the faucet. That's for
I'm
sure.
or what's put on is
literally
brown,
sitting in Costco's parking lot about to go in and get cases of water because
yeah,
I'm down to
Mhm.
like five. Anytime I get to about five cases in
you
my
top up.
garage, I'm like, I need more water.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
you don't want to be in that position. And you know people are getting relaxed because the pandemic is over and things, oh yeah, back to no,
It's not.
is
It's not
flying. And
over.
and people are not wearing their mask. I wear a mask if I'm around a crowd. If I'm not around a crowd, I don't, because I don't need to. But if let me tell you something, I for me, I'm glad for the mask because people are nasty. I went to a store and I'm passing by
That's
someone.
me.
I'm like, she waits till I get there to stop coughing up her lung. I was like, if you weren't, oh, I would dump you. I'm like, oh, if you weren't a senior citizen, I would dump in your mouth. How you coughing and sneezing? They're nasty. Nothing's changed. People are
Yeah.
nasty. They
Yeah.
know they're not well. They know they have a temperature and they're out in the store. So I'm sorry. You'll see me like this most days in the store, masked up.
That's
Yeah.
me. I'm about
Because
to
I
be
went,
people be
masked as soon as
nasty.
I go in there.
I'm the maskless one. I haven't masked up since this started.
That's
Uh-uh.
that's that's
Mask
okay.
up.
Do whatever's
Uh-uh.
comfortable for you. But for me,
Hmm.
I don't like the
I
fact that
can't.
people be coughing and spraying. Like I don't even care about the V. I
Yeah.
already had the V. But the monkey one is not so easy. That's very
That's me. It's
contagious.
not about
Folks
any of them.
been,
I
but
don't want
folks ain't just
anything.
get nasty. Folks been nasty.
They've
So
been
That's
this
nasty.
why
ain't
I
make
do
people
it.
nasty. Folks been nasty.
They've
So
been nasty,
That's
but now
why
I'm
I
like, you know
do it.
what? I'm gonna wear them because I can't, because I want to fight nobody. Because I used to fight
Yep.
people to be that person fighting like, you can't cover your mouth. You can't cover your mouth. And why am I
well,
arguing? Why am I
I
always
don't
fighting
think
these
you're
And
not
people?
kids
gonna.
are petri dishes, and they be the worst because kids don't know all the time that they just and
Like,
here it is. I'm
and
See,
ready.
my
we
thing
all
is,
know people go to the
this is
washroom and
why
don't
we're
wash
in
their hands.
America. America, we supposed to be able to
Don't
have
carry in your purse.
a
Yeah, on
way
my
of
body.
choice. So if you choose to mask up, mask up. If somebody choose not to mask up, you don't pay for their health. If they get sick, you ain't there.
Nope.
So don't worry about them.
Don't worry about it.
That's how
Exactly.
I feel about it.
I just
Just
don't want.
whatever
I
you
don't want
comfortable with,
spray
you
on my
do
face.
you.
Yeah.
And then some people, depending on where you live, use it as a weapon. Like they'll say, "I'm going to spit on you," and I've been spit on in the
I
past.
I
Is a
heard
racial
people
thing, a
are
racist
dealing with
I
that.
mean, if you spit on
incident.
somebody, that mean you must be have a death sentence. I'm sorry. That
Bougie,
is the nastiest thing you could do to somebody.
bougie,
I'm
I
sorry.
promise
I
you,
don't
I'm gonna
play
drag you
that.
down to the ground. We going
What?
bougie.
they
You're
gonna have to
gonna
calm
have
Angela,
a
I'm
down.
death
telling
sentence
you,
if you
you
spit
you don't
on
know what's in
somebody.
you until someone does. It was so disrespectful. Hi, Jenny.
That is
It
That's
was
the
so
that's
disrespectful.
the
That
low
is
utter.
down,
disrespectful on all kinds of levels.
and
Call me out my
I didn't know
name
how to
first.
fight, but
Don't
I
you
fought.
ever let your spittle
Okay,
touch
that
me.
part.
I didn't know, but fists and thumbs were flying and undercut and all in movie watch on. I was like, don't like, yeah,
Mm-mm,
somebody spit on me in my
Mm-mm,
past. So for me,
mm-mm,
people
mm-mm,
use it as a weapon, like, oh, they're gonna
mm-mm,
spit on you. So now this, I wear a mask just
mm-mm.
because I don't know how people are kind of off the
mm-mm.
You know,
rockers.
I don't care how you are because you don't know how I am.
You
So
just
you can
made me
True.
take that
angry.
chance. You can take that chance if you want
Mm-mm.
to.
That part.
Yeah.
I'm telling
So
you, you will see a whole nother person.
Oh,
You spit on
that
me.
part,
yeah,
I
yeah.
wish
but
you
yeah,
would. I
even
wish.
some people who I know are in the police force. People now are spitting like that's like their weapon. I'm gonna spit on you because they want to give
Mm-mm.
you a germ or a disease or something. So
No, you
yeah,
want to die. That's what you saying to me. You
yeah,
want to die.
You literally do.
you do because that's
That's what you
assault. That's
saying.
assault, and I'm not responsible when
Yeah,
my
yes
head
it
leaves my
is.
body and I
Yes it
start thumping
is.
you down.
That is.
Yeah, but people are doing that nowadays. People are spitting on people as
Mm-mm.
a weapon, weaponizing. So, and
Mm,
they sometimes know that they're contagious or infectious with something, and they're doing that. So it's not about just the V and the people are doing things very nasty, and you're out minding your own. There was an incident here, and I think it happened in the States too. A mentally disturbed person was throwing buckets of their fecal matter on people.
mm,
Mhm.
That happened in the States and it happened here in Toronto as well.
mm,
And someone was in the libraries doing their homework and through the so you can imagine that goes in your face, your eyes and your stuff are getting some of it in your body, and it's
mm,
highly contagious, highly dangerous for your health. And the man was apprehended, but still, like, it's in my face. Like, your crap is literally in my face. And I have
Mhm.
to go get shots and get this, and not me, but the person, because you could get diseases from that. So, do what's best for you. Watch your situation. See who's around you, because
mm-hmm,
some people are not. When someone's not right. Something just triggers inside. Something just doesn't feel
mm-hmm.
right.
Yeah,
You
you got to
move
be
away.
aware of your surroundings,
Yeah.
like TNT. She teaches. Be
Be
awareness of
aware of
your
who's around
surroundings.
you and
Yeah.
what's around you. And it's not
Mhm.
always about having a pow pow and a pew pew. It's just moving, crossing the street. Simple
Yep.
as going on the phone to say hi. Okay, I want somebody on the phone with me while I'm passing by. People call me and say, just be on the phone with me while I'm going to the storage
Mhm.
locker, so that
Mm-hmm,
you're on the phone with me. Simple, wise safety stuff. But let's keep having these conversations. Let's be
Yeah.
kind
mm-hmm,
to each other. Let's be kind to ourselves and give ourselves
Mhm.
mm-hmm,
grace and treat people
mm-hmm,
nicely. Because as we notice, kids feel that they know you can say whatever you want with your mouth. They can tell when you
Yes.
don't want them around.
mm-hmm,
And it's not a
mm-hmm,
nice
Yes.
feeling for anybody, grown or young. So be
mm-hmm.
nice to
Yes.
people, be kind to people, treat them the same way we're talking about triple. Just give the 100%, be your true, authentic self. That's it.
Yep.
Excuse me, language. Oh, no, that's fine. But yeah, but thank you, ladies. I'm gonna go, and then I'll be on again next
All
week. So
right.
now that I know that it tells you that I'm coming up, I'll schedule it again so you guys see it. And
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
I'll see you in the streets as usual. I'm
Yes.
definitely.
Yes. Have a good Saturday,
See ya.
everybody.
Have a
Later.
blessed day, guys. Take care. Bye bye. All right.